some drawn straight back, hitting the stump, and they're asking a question, but at least Clark was in her ground. Good shot and all, overthrows a bit of confusion in the back there. She's able to get an overthrow. Well, in the first place, the shot is a 4.
Exactly.
It's a well-struck back drive, well straight, plummeted into the stumps at the other end.
Indeed, and the batter is able to scamper through for a second run, complements the overthrow route.
But succeeded on 3.
Doing some adjustments to her pad as she settles in now. And here is that one beaten outside the off stump, coming forward but not coming across. Al, were she to come across, she perhaps would have middled it, played it out into the cover region. But coming down the track, and fortunately for her, going through to the wicketkeeper without an edge.
Yes, her initial movement is usually back and across. On that occasion, I didn't see her do that. So probably just standing her ground, her way comfortable. Here she is again, facing up to race on.
And that one.
Off stump, driving it up to mid-off, taking on their time to get to the other end. Just wait a little bit at the last part when they shied at the stumps.
And she's up to 4. Clark remains on 7. 2 wides, 13 for 1 Leeward Islands in the 4th over. And the groundsman did indicate that the pitch will be playing through. And although that would have convinced the Leewards to bat. And here's that one full outside the off stump. Taking a swipe at it and missing. The Jamaicans' hands are going on head, wishing, praying, hoping for a snick, but that wasn't the case.
Clark walked away. But she realized she missed out on a gift. She could have struck that anyway. Here comes Wissam again. On the leg side, she will get a wide. Easy call.
That's the 3rd wide of the over. The score ambles on to 14 without loss.
And now player comes over to approach Wissam. Urging her to stick with the outside line.
And taking that advice again, outside the off stump, playing and missing. No harm done. Wicketkeeper not taking the first time around, but the batter's not able to amble to for anything.
It's a good card to stick with that outside line because Saxena is in the habit of throwing her back at the ball outside there with a big drive. She does so again, and the top edge down to 3rd man. Third man is in place, pick it up cleanly, over ends, the score moves on. They 1 to 15, 15 for 1, Leewards. Maxina scores after the last one, she's facing it over. She's on to 5.
And Clark remains on 7.
But I was just talking about the tendency of Maxina to throw her back at anything outside the offside. Okay, and move the ball slightly and tick it back in when she opens it to go through the gate or a leg.
Clark is now facing. Wissam continues.
No, this is another French cut from Clark. This is White continuing from the northern end. White
Indeed, yes.
White, the wicket taker. You want to go on this green hat for duck, leg before wicket. Single on.
And it's White again. And trying to smack that one through the covers. Not being able to beat the keeper, who moves smartly to her left. Probably not timing the ball that well. Form was looking good, Al.
Was a good looking shot. Was a good looking shot for nothing. It deserved more than that. But the batter now will have to adjust and look to penetrate the field. Play it either a little later, open the face a little bit more to get you that prong of three. Oh, this one.
Ah, beautiful indeed. Al going forward and playing it back just to the right of the bowler into the boundary for 4. And Saxena, she moves on to 9. And they scored 20 for 1, the Leeward Islands.
To the right of the bowler and to the left of mid-on, picking the gap. When they got through the air, we knew it was 4. And this has brought a discussion between the captain and the bowler. Here they are having a discussion. I'm sure Taylor will tell her, you cannot go up that far to Saxena, who's willing to drive at anything that is in her half. Pull it back a bit, just outside after. Let her feel for it a little. I'm sure that's what it was. She does so, but driven down to the off stump. Saxena discompensated, just leaned over a little further, and fluent driving again, showing that she's confident in what she's doing, but didn't get any runs for it. Ball went out to mid-half, who came in quickly, picked it up. No harm, no danger, no runs.
20 for 1, Leeward Islands. We're in the 5th over.
Here is White. White to Saxena. Outside our stump, pulling into the onside, rustling down the wicket. A little mix up here, a little confusion, and she's able to get back. And now the communication comes.
And both batters coming down, speaking about it. They would want to steady her. Not really being troubled per se by the bowling Al. But it's just that there's a tight field, slip, backward point, cover extra, cover mid-off, mid-on. And here's Saxena coming forward, playing that one into the mid-wicket region. It brings up the end of the over, 20 for 1 after the 5th over, Leeward Islands.
Well, from the moment that Saxena set off for that single, I saw the suicide rope coming out. There's no single on. The field is tightly set, particularly on the offside, with cover, extra cover, and mid-off, all in a tight wing and backward point. And so she was probably trying to push the ball from off to on to go into the onside field, where there's a little more space to look for a single, but it wasn't there.
And it's going to be Waysome to continue from the pavilion end. One slip, third man backward point, cover extra, cover mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. And that one is Clark, punching that one out to the covers. Not being able to beat any of the fielders. And the score remains 20 for 1 Al.
A little dangerous push. The ball dropped just a few feet short of that fielder there in the covers area. Waysome to continue. At the top of her mark now, delivers up onto the bat. She comes gently forward, pushes down the pitch in the approved manner. Waysome is happy. The line is better than those wide she bowled. And she's getting the encouragement from all the players. With that type of ball, it's right up under her. You miss, I hit. That's
Which is the idea.
Yep. Stump to stump, top of our stump. Here she comes again. Delivers outside our stump and dragged. No, missed. Missed by batter and missed by wicketkeeper. 4 byes being signaled now. Sanjay's column moving on. Score is now 24 for 1.
Yep.
Leewards in this the 6th over, being bowled by Waysome. Nisha and Waysome.
Dead ball being signaled.
There.
Bale dropping from the non-strikers end.
Breeze that I spoke about earlier, Biff. Simply dislodge the bail. Nice little breeze coming from the northeast trades. Somewhere in the background we have one called John Samuel who can give us an.
Is it that he's from St. Paul's?
No, I think
Any acquaintances in St. Paul's?
in his other life he's a student of geography.
Oh, okay. Right now, he's the man in charge of the Duckworth-Lewis system here with us.
In
at
this
St.
life.
Paul's.
In this life.
In this life.
Yes, he's Duckworth-Lewis, the Duckworth-Lewis man.
Most competent commentator as well.
Oh yes. Here is Raysom and Clark. Settling things. Going back to her watchful self. She was very watchful in the first few balls that she faced, and then opened up a bit. It's a cracking cover drive. Now we're seeing her being gentle as Zaxina, the number 3 batter, is a bit more aggressive than her in my mind. She's probably holding on to the end, making sure she anchors an end. Raysom, Clark, pushing it out to the backward point area. Enough to beat the fielder there to her left, but not enough to beat third man coming around to do the fielding. Score moves on by 1 to 25. It's now 25 for 1 after 6. Still keeping their run rate, just around hovering around 4, which I said is not bad for the early part of this game. 4 and over. And
Mathematically, the projected target at 4 would be 200. And in 50 over cricket,
females. And I'm also hoping that later on in the game they'll probably up that, when they get going, when they see eyes set in and they can get going. Sassina looks like a good aggressive batter. She stays around. Score can loom up. Here's White in her 4th over.
Yep.
And Clark in her usual position, just gently knocking it into the offside. Going back on our hunches and assessing the situation. Can't afford to out now. Don't want to do anything overly aggressive. Keep knocking it around, look for the 1s and 2s. Occasional boundary, sometimes through sundries. Here is White, and she drives outside the off stump, going down to past backward point, going down to the third man area. Waysome comes off the boundary and relays the ball to the wicketkeeper. So she gets 1, that's Clark.
She goes up to 9. And Saxina, she is also on 9, 26 for 1.
Correct. Driven, missing, taking cleanly. Just one adjustment I'm seeing to the field so far, that's the slip. The first has gone more into a second slip position, the way these batters are going. In fact, it might be even 2.5 seconds. White. Clark drives through the mid wicket. No, the fielder is scrambling and making a scrambling stop. She's. Ooh. Is that the complacency?
Val, Al, not really capitalizing on it, trying to go through the onside, but playing it straight to the mid wicket. Not really middling properly, timing not the best as well. And thinking that it may have beaten the fielder, it didn't. And this time she goes Al through the mid wicket again, and she will pick up a boundary.
Yes, this time she succeeded in what she wanted to do the first time. But this time she went to the right of the mid wicket fielder, and as I say, she's just showing her aggression. Seems that she's a naturally aggressive player. Sassina. 4 more to the score. Here is White. Saxina outside of some pulls it down to mid wicket looking for one. It's not there. In fact, it's to mid on, sorry. It's a cross batted shot. She is trying to make sure that she plays the ball where there is more space to get runs. But she didn't get that one exactly where she wanted it. It went straight to mid wicket, and the idea of any sort of single was not on.
The end of the over, 30 for 1. And
That one.
and the Jamaicans continuing with their opening pair. Only picking up 1 wicket, but not really giving away much per se. 7 overs, 30 runs. And it's going to be Waysome again to continue from the pavilion end. She's bowling to Clark outside the off stump. Clark comes across. Looking at that one going through to the keeper. She won't be pulled into any discretion, the Al.
From the onset, she looked like she wanted to anchor down and play only according to the merit of the ball. We've only seen one really attacking shot from her. Others have been just guides, little tucks and little punches. But only one overly aggressive shot from her.
And
Here's another one. Dangerous one. Playing long before the ball came. It looped up, luckily for her, into safety. To the nation there at a short extra cover. Scratching her hands, hoping that that one will come to her.
And it's going to be Waysome again into Clark. Coming forward. Perhaps the ball from bat to pad. A half-hearted appeal, as it were, going up by the Jamaicans.
Instant denial by the umpire, shaking her head from side to side.
More hope than anything, Al.
Oh yes, their duty is to ask.
Of course. And this is White again, bringing Clark forward, playing that one squarish on the offside. The backward point, moving away smartly to the right, collecting no hand. Still 30 for 1. Waysome again, into Clark, shot. She's stepping into, and will she get 4? It does look like it's gonna beat the fielder just into the boundary, Al. 4 runs through the mid-off region.
From my first impression, I would say that's her favorite shot. She played it twice to the man and she got bumped with it twice. First one was a bit to the right, the next one was just past extra, brush off the mid-off, past extra cover and mid-off, picking the gap nicely, feeling a good in chase. It was not the same ball, hence the ball went into the ball.
And the Jamaicans still employing their 2 power play fielders, fine leg and the 3rd man. And here's Waysome again. And she's coming forward, playing that one to a short mid-off position. Brings up the end of the over, Al. 34 for 1 at the end of 8 overs, Leeward Islands. Having lost Maynard without scoring, LBW. And I'll now make way, and Mr. Wilmot McCall, he'll be joining you and taking it.
Good morning, Al.
Good morning.
And good morning to all listeners across the Caribbean and around the world. And it's my pleasure to see these ladies displaying their skills. Now in comes White, down the leg side to Saxena.
Yeah.
And the bowling has been quite to a point, a few balls down leg side, but the majority of balls, of course, on or just about off stump or just outside. Clark has done well in punching a few of them for 4s through the offside. Now here comes White again. Ball to Saxena again down the leg side. Another.
But nonetheless, it was It was the batters who had the better on that occasion, in my opinion. They got a boundary, they got a couple of singles, and so the score moved on healthily to the Leewards. It's now 43 for 1. And now we're spotting the first change. Changing Nation will come on from the northern end.
Nation will come on from this end, and
Wait,
she will be bowling.
No, hold on, no, that will be 18. Sorry, I picked up the wrong number. 18, which is Watts, Vanessa Watts.
Vanessa Watts will be
Yeah,
bowling
Nation is.
she'll be bowling to Saxena, who has done very well in my view. She's opting more for the onside shots. Saxena. Now and again she hits it back past the bowler. Here comes Watts, bowl to Saxena. Now she hits it to mid wicket. There's a fielder down on the boundary. 1-1. Now it's now 44 for 1. Watts, of course, her first delivery, slightly on the onside. I hope she can adjust that line as she goes along. Here comes Watts again. Ball miss outside the off stump. In fact, she's caught behind. There was a ball lined up just about off stump and maybe having some movement away, and she was nibbling at it. She took the edge and she was caught by the keeper, and the umpire gave the affirmative that she was out. So Clark is out. She is out for, I think it was.
We'll check with the scores and
yes, we'll see how much Clark made, but she nibbled at that one. In fact, even when the pace bowlers were on, she was playing that shot outside the off stump, especially when the ball was missing. She was not moving across toward it, and she took the edge and was brilliantly caught by the keeper behind. So that's the second wicket at 44 for 2. Clark out caught behind, and of course Leewards not going on as they thought they would. They won the toss and chose to bat, and as a result, they have done fairly well in my view, having lost the first wicket with 1-1 on the board. Here's the captain, Captain Willett. Okay, Captain Willett will join Saxena at the crease.
Yes, well, it was somewhat of a recovery, a 43-1 partnership between Clark and Saxena. The first sign of spin, however, was proved her undoing. She was nibbling outside the off stump. In her opinion, it looked like she didn't touch it. That's in her opinion.
Yes.
But again, the umpire finger went up straight away. The two dismissals were so confidently done by the umpires. They didn't hesitate. It was straight away the finger went up. They probably saw it, saw the deflection, heard the deflection.
Heard a nice solid deflection,
Yep.
and everything went in the affirmative. Well, here is Watts bowling to Willett. Willett is circumspectly forward. She pushes it back to the bowler. The bowler fields, and of course, we will see that what Willett will do. Having lost a wicket, one wants to see some consolidation. And now she's again forward defensive, starting as most of the batsmen do, just checking the pace of the wicket, see what movement there might be, and maybe after a while she may launch into her attacks. Here comes Watts again, bowl outside off stump, left alone, no run resulting. 44 it is for 2, and Willett just getting to the crease. Saxena is 15, and in comes Watts again. She's up, and Willett plays this one out quietly into the offside. No eventuality. End of the over.
Okay, so we got the final score for Clark. She was caught off by Williams after bowling of Watts for 20. She made 20. Batsman out, Maynard for a duck. Clark 2 wickets down with the score on 44. Willett just joined Saxena. Saxena is on 15. Willett yet to score. 10 overs bowled.
Okay, well, let's see if another change is taking place. Number 9, Wilmot. From the northern end, as you call it, Al, she will be bowling to Saxena, who has 15. And I was present when the Leewards won the toss, and in the affirmative, the captain said, "We'll back." Apparently with information from the groundsman that the wicket could be full of runs, yes. Kate Wilmot will do the honors. For
Signal,
Jamaica.
signal.
There's a signal. That's
Oh
a
dear.
10th over. That signal suggests second power play. Second power play. So this is the 10th over actually. Coming up.
No, it's never left.
11th,
Yeah,
11th over. Real ball by Wilmot.
Odd number from the northern end,
That's right, that's right.
even number from the southern end.
That is correct. So Wilmot taking quite a while getting ourselves prepared, doing a few shadow deliveries, while Saxena waits patiently. Now they're ready, the umpire signals play, and Leewards are 44 for 2, going into the 11th over. In comes Wilmot, and there's a ball played into the onside. There's a misfield, and they were thinking about a single. They changed their minds eventually, and as 3 persons were very close to that ball, so they did not take the single as they thought. So let's look at Wilmot and see what she will produce. Saxena is rather set at 15, and maybe seeing it quite as well. She runs up, and that's a dead ball, as they call it. She doesn't deliver. 44 for 2, the Leewards, and of course, hoping that they. What do you think would be a good score on this?
Well, it looks a good batting track. I would say anything over 200, 250. The Jamaicans are filled with some good recognized players, Nation, Williams, Taylor, and so they'll have to set a good score.
Here comes Wilmot bowling a full delivery, licked away through the deep backward square leg boundary for 4. A full delivery, of course, asking to be hit, as it were.
Yes, well, you realize that Taylor has reacted to Saxena's success in the onside and has taken away the slip and tried to plug the onside. But on that occasion, it was a full toss, going down the leg side, helped around. As we would say in local plants, you can't set field for bad bowling.
You cannot do that. Removing the slip, I don't know if that was necessary. At least when a bowler is bowling badly, you just cannot follow by setting fields to accommodate that kind of bowling. Okay, that one was put away for 4 by Saxena. It's now 48. 48 runs now for the loss of the 2 wickets for the Leeward Islands. Now in comes Wilmot again. Again, this one was short. It is pulled away and dropped on the deep backward square leg boundary. Dropped. It went into her hand. It bounced up. She tried a second time. She didn't succeed. 1 run. Drop catch.
We have to check our mics here because they might be listening. I told you that Taylor was plugging that onside field for that the number of shots that Saxena was playing into the onside.
Yes,
this one went aerial. They had the chance and grasped it.
Yeah, it was a top edge actually. She tried to put it away to the square leg, but it top edged and went down and was dropped. These things do happen in cricket, and in comes Wilmot again. 49 for 2. She goes forward and she pushes out to in the offside where it was fielded. No runs. 49, as it were, for 2 wickets in the 9th over. And to achieve 200, and someone has to dig in and really get those runs. She comes in again, and she's now bowling to Willett, I think it is. She's up, she bowls to Willett, she plays it out to the short mid-off area, the long-off area, and there is no run available. And I thought the spin might have brought some difference, that spin bowler was.
She didn't make a difference, she took a wicket.
She took a wicket, and Parker is now facing Campbell. In comes Parker, in comes Campbell, ball to Parker. That one was just outside off stump, I don't understand what she was trying to do.
Well
there.
left, well left, what? Well left, well left.
Well left. You
Yes.
call it well left.
Well, it didn't hit the stump. So it's-
In comes Campbell again. Bowling to Parker. Outside the leg stump, pulled away, and that could go into the boundary for 4 runs. Yes, that was asking to be hit, and Parker obliged and pulled away into the onside for 4. Short delivery, and a lollipop, if you want to call it that, and she simply helped it away down to the boundary or the backward square leg boundary for 4 runs.
the only thing missing was gift wrap paper.
The what?
Gift wrap paper.
The gift wrap paper. It was a
Yeah.
gift giver. That's right. So here comes Campbell again into balls to Parker, and again it's just outside off stump, and as Al would say, well left. I think it missed the off stump. She didn't play very well at it. Didn't seem to know what to do with it, and that seemed to be a weakness of Parker. Let's see Campbell again
Well, Campbell should be guided by those 2 reactions.
into ball to Parker. Again, she's on the onside and pulled away, or yes, pulled away to fine leg. 1 resulting. Oh, it's a bye.
Bye.
It's a bye. So Campbell seems to be back and forth. She's one.
That one is a bit confusing. If it's a bye, that was down the leg side. I mean, it didn't touch anything. It should be a
So
wide.
it should be a wide. Okay. Yes. Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Not as technical as you. Not as technical as you. In comes Campbell again, and she bowls this one full, pull away, deep mid wicket, 4 runs. That is Saxena.
Saxena, yeah.
Pulled away for 4, so that the score moves on now to
It's about 60.
61
61.
for 3. So this could be a rebuilding. In fact, there was some rebuilding between Saskia and Clark, and then we have those couple of wickets in between, and then this one again could be, but let's look at it. The spin bowlers seem to be creating a little bit of an uncertainty, particularly when Parker gets it on the off stump. She seems lost as to what to do. But once it's full, she point is on the onside.
I was wondering why did they move Watts from bowling, but it looks like just a switch around. It looks like Watts will now come from the northern end, because she's the most successful bowler so far for the Jamaicans, and the one who came on just now, that was Campbell. Campbell seemed not to have picked up her line easily. She bowled quite a few full tosses. She got struck for 2 4s in the over. A healthy score for the Leewards nonetheless, but now we're seeing the reintroduction of Watts from the northern end.
Here comes Watts, bowling to Parker. Short on the onside, pulled away, and someone deep backward square leg fields. There's 1 run, and of course Parker moves on. And I think Watts seemed to be falling into the Watts. I think it's Watts. Yes. And she bowled short on the onside, and she was bowling pretty well to the right-handers.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's bowling to Saxena. Let us see what she will do. 62 now as it were for 3. In comes Watts and worked her way through the onside again. And 1-1 resulting. I don't know if moving her was the correct thing. She was doing pretty well from this end. And for some reason they brought Campbell to bring a change. Yeah. Campbell did very poorly, and now she seemed to be following.
I don't know if it's the wind factor. The wind is coming from that end, pretty stiff.
Parker touches this one out to a short point area or on the offside, and of course there is no run. Watts seems quite intent on bowling the line. She's accustomed to bowling to the right-handers, but if she bowls it to Parker, she'll go on the onside. Here comes Watts again, bowling to Parker, and Parker jumps down and hits it straight back past the bowler for 4. It looks like a cross-batted shot, but it went straight nonetheless.
It's a cross-batted shot. It's a cross between a cover drive and a back drive. It ended up in a perfect position for her to just pass mid off and pass the bowler. And good returns, 4 runs.
Returns 4 runs. And so Parker, of course, capitalizing on what a few deliveries that were not well lined. Apparently, she's making the adjustment. She overpitched that one and she danced down and hit it right back.
And now they decide to change the lines, which is what I thought they should do in the
Goes
first
around the
place. Yes.
Here comes Watts around the wicket, pull away. It's on the onside, pull away again for 4. This one comes down to the deep final area. The deep capitalizing on some wayward bowling. It seems as though the change of bowler brought about some fortunes for the Leewards and the misfortunes for the Jamaicans.
And the left-right combination too, because they want to bowl over the wicket and then around the wicket. It's just not getting the correct line at this time.
In comes Watts again, bowling to Parker. Pushes out on the offside. Parker, at least I know now she can play on the offside. She seems not too adept at playing balls pitched just about off stump.
She had me fooled for as I make my way for another commentator to come in. It's just about the time where they're going to take a little drinks break, and we take a little break here at the commentary box to bring in Mr. Troy Biff Mills.
Good morning to you, Mr. McCall. How are you, sir?
Well, doing very well. Good morning to you, Biff. And of course, we are enjoying the game as it's going. And of course, we see the changing fortunes as we go along. The Jamaicans in Stephanie Taylor trying quite a bit. She has changed around Watts, who was doing very well from this end, taking 2 wickets actually. And she changed her to the other end. And from since then, things seems to be, seems as though Leewards are getting some momentum from those changes.
You're not missing any cricket. It's the water break here at the St. Paul's playing field, the home of the back-to-back football champions, SL Horsford St. Paul's United, and perhaps one of the premier sportscasters here in St. Kitts, Mr. Theo Clark. He is from St. Paul's. Works at ZIZ.
He's the mayor.
The mayor of St. Paul's. Forgive me, Theo. And the groundsmen there marking the popping crease. The Jamaicans there in a huddle. Tinetta McCall from the Leeward Islands.
Yeah.
She didn't make the cut for this game.
So she was giving some advice and water to her teammates as well. Yeah.
Exactly. And Vanna Claxton, also from St. Kitts, the 13th. And did we call the Leeward Islands? I don't recall we actually
I don't know if it was
We had
called.
Melissa Clark opening the batting, along with Davonique Maynard coming in at number 3, Devia Saxena, who is still there. The skipper, Sonelda Willett, she came in at 4, but she has left. Therese Parker, the wicketkeeper, she's there. Jennison Richards, she comes in at 6. 7 will be Amanda Edwards, the vice captain. 8 will be Kimberly Anthony. 9 is going to be Roselle Liebert. 10, Tonya Martin. And 11, Cheyenne Moses. That's the Leewards' team. Jazara Claxton, the West Indies player from
Youth
St.
player.
Kitts. You only 16 years.
Yeah, she was left out. Yeah.
She's not
In the team today.
in the team today.
Okay.
I don't know if she was unavailable for whatever reason, injury. I know she went to Venezuela with the Charles E. Mills Secondary School a few weeks ago. The 27th time National High School Track and Field champions.
Yeah.
And we are going to see Wilmot, it is, the number 9, picking up the attack from the pavilion end. 70 for 4, is it, McCall?
71.
71 for 4.
Yes. 71 for 3.
For 3, pardon me.
71 for 3.
The Leeward Island, after winning the toss and batting. Over number 16 coming up.
Yes, the Jamaicans are making sure that their field is set. And Wilmot is making her way in. Ball into Saxena.
And here she is. That one is full outside the leg stump or thereabout. And Saxena pulling, not making good contact, getting it down to a deepish mid-wicket, picking up a single. And she goes on to 29, Saxena. And the score 72 for 3.
She's holding the Leewards together as we can see it. Al feels that she's sort of aggressive and could be the glue to hold the Leewards together.
She came in at number 3, and she is there, the top scorer so far. Clark.
Going to the wicket is
Number 16.
number 16,
Jonathan Richards.
Jennison Richards. Jennison Richards. She's number 16.
And Leewards 75 for 3 after 16.1 overs. 70, that's correct. 16.1 overs, 75. They started the over at 75 for 3. And the batter, Jennison, she looks around, sees there's one slip, backward point. And she's coming forward, playing that one into the onside. And that's number 18, is it, McCall?
Number 18, that's right.
Watts?
Or 17. From that end is number.
No, the bowler, number 18, Watts.
Oh no, number 18. What?
And there's a load of peel and a pile finger, he goes up. And facing that's 2 balls. And Leewards, they are now 75 for the loss of 5 wickets after 16.3 overs, is it?
Yes,
Jennison, Richards coming in, not troubling the scorers as it were, save for 2 dot balls and the stats, and not looking very happy at all.
Yes, she got a straight delivery actually, and she was trying to play it on the onside. And as we say, you know, you play across the line, and sometimes that alone influences the umpire. In my view, the ball was straight. She was playing late and playing on the trying to play on the onside. She missed it, and she was and the judge LBW by the umpire, and now she walks away dejected. Leewards have lost another wicket.
And not a good position to be in at this stage. It's a 50-over match. 5 wickets down, 75 on the scoreboard. And Jamaica would be very happy.
Jamaica would be very happy. I don't think the Leewards have capitalized on some of the indiscipline that I've seen from the Jamaicans. In some cases, when they were lining up on off stump, they were doing very well. And then they began to give a few full tosses, which relieved much of the pressure that the Leewards were under. And then apparently, with the freedom comes, you know, the risk of losing wickets. And so therefore, 5 wickets have fallen, 75 runs on the board. And we look at someone like Saxena, who was well set, and a simple delivery got out. Now here's one.
And that one beat in the edge, and the oohs and the arms from the Jamaican team, perhaps missing the stump by a shade of paint, a bite signal, and the score goes on to 76 for the loss of 5, the Leeward Islands.
Yes, the Leewards find themselves in a little bother here as far as I'm concerned, unless someone will come and really hit things out of the ground when it's really necessary. And I don't know if we have such a batter in the Leewards team, but as it were, the Jamaicans are really closing things in and really getting rid of the top order for the Leeward Islands.
And it's Parker. She's up to face to Watts. And she goes back trying to punch that one bounce to the fielder coming in from the mid-wicket boundary. She goes through to the single, not really in proper control of the shot. And nonetheless, she gets a single. The score goes on to 77 for the loss of 5. And that would be, here's Watts again. Into bold on the legs. Right, perhaps hitting the pad. She's now on 31.
Saxena.
Conferring the score, Leeward Islands, they are now 77 for 1.
I thought Saxena was out with.
And it's the end of the over. And that was Saxena caught on board actually. Of what was it?
That's
And
right.
she made
Cotton Ball by
30.
Watts for 30.
And we now have the West Indies under 19 player. She's be bowling to the left-hander Parker. And here's Parker coming forward and swiping at that one, picking up an edge and actually going a little left of the wicketkeeper. Parker, she picks up 4 runs. The score goes on to 81 for 5.
81 for 5, that's right. Well, that was a sort of lucky stroke there, if you would say it. She hit it, it went over the keeper's glove, and well, there's no slip employed, and the ball went down to the boundary for 4. And in my view, fortune, of course, favoring the brave. Here is Watts again, or Wilmot? Wilmot.
Into bowl to Amanda Edwards. She plays that one to the mid-on region. No harm being done. And yet to be off the mark, Amanda, the vice captain of the Leeward Islands team. And that one, expecting a no ball. Yes, there it goes, a full pitched above the waist. And the 82, that is, for the limited overs, and there, the umpire, being probably questioned by Watts, umpire indicated that was a full pitch above the waist, which is a no ball.
Of course, most of those are corroborated by the square leg umpire.
And that should be a free hit.
She didn't signal the free hit.
Well, we'll wait and see, and that's 82 for the loss of 5, the Leeward Islands. Here's Watts again, walking to Parker. Parker comes down, knowing that she cannot be out caught, and she goes swiping at the one.
To mid-wicket for 4.
Through mid-wicket for 4,
Yes.
Parker, and she moves on to
3.
She goes on to 23, Parker. The wicketkeeper, and having the responsibility now, McCall, to not only steady but keep the scoreboard going.
She has to keep it ticking. Otherwise, the Jamaicans have a powerful batting lineup, and you need to challenge them with runs, actually.
And here's Watts again into Parker outside the off. And the score remains on 82 for the loss of 5.
Yes, Parker, in my view, settling down now, actually. She's still suspect just outside off stump when you look at her, but anything otherwise than that, she puts it away quite effectively. Okay, here comes Wilmot again to bowl to Parker.
And
Full toss, hit away to mid-wicket, another 4 for Parker.
Another 4. Up Islands is score 86 for the loss of 5.
Yes, Parker was a little suspicious of her when she came in first. She was nibbling at the ball. Still, she's suspect outside off some because she has played a couple of shots outside off some, but some of them bounce over the keeper's glove and so on. But she seems to be okay when it lines up for all those outside off.
I saw her umpire the game Leewards versus St. Kitts, the 50 overs. She was the wicketkeeper, and she's one of the persons who impressed me.
Okay.
And here she's facing, coming forward, playing that one into the onside. The keeper runs around to 5 to the left, shadowing. At the end of the over, it is
82?
now 86.
86, sorry. 90.
90. 90 for 5. 7.
Yes, Parker and Saxena, both once they get something that was, and most of it is mainly to the onside. Clark seems as though she's the one who would take you on the off stump, if or outside off. But the other lady seems intent on pulling across their bodies whenever the ball is full, and they have done so well in my view. Here's Watts again, bowling to Edwards.
And that one outside the off stump, she comes forward, guides it through. They perhaps a third slip. Being advised by the pavilion not to take that single. Let the double, having come through for the single. So it's now 91 for the loss of 5.
It's more than 91. Yes, 91. Okay.
And that's
91 for 5.
91 for 5. And here is Parker coming forward, playing that one, not being able to get a single. And here she's allowing that one to go outside the off stump.
Outside the off stump. Once it's outside the off stump, she seems a little suspect. Some people know their strengths and weaknesses, so this lady seemingly, she knows her strength and she waits for it.
And that one, full, slow full, kneeling, pulling it just backward of square. And only managing to get a single from that, Parker.
Yes, Parker, like I said, she knows her strength. When the ball, she's going to score and she's going to maximize every time.
And here is Amanda Edwards, the vice captain, right-hander. And she goes, will she be out? Caught one bounce. The
She cannot be out caught. She cannot be out one bounce. Dave.
no, ball going to the keeper,
Yeah.
thinking it would have been out, but it was a one bounce to the fielder.
That is correct.
Just want to make sure you're with me, McCall. And that's
thank you very
Amanda
much.
picking up a single.
Yes.
And then
End of the over. That's the end of the over. That's the 21st over, am I right? If you can correct me. Amanda is Parker. I can't just speak about Parker. I think she could be the one to bring some respectability, to the Leewards score or prevent a total slide of the Leewards team. Once you're on the off stump, she's circumspect. She either play it forward and let it, or she lets it go. Sometimes too close to her stumps. But once you bowl to her strength, I appreciate the fact that she knows her limitations, and I like the way she organized herself in knowing that and using that to her advantage. Some batsmen they try, like they used to try to do a lot of things they're not capable of, and so losing sometimes you won't touch. But this lady seems to be she knows her weaknesses and her strengths.
And the bowling change, we have opening bowler Waysome. She's back from the pavilion end. And there is Edwards going, woofing and whapping.
One bounce, two bounces.
2 bounces to the, on to 90. 93 for the loss of 5.
94.
94 for the loss of 5 wickets. And brilliant sunshine, clouds, very warm here at the St. Paul's recreation ground. It's Mason again. This time she's in the Parker. And see it around the leg stump down to the final position. She gets a single. Of course, another Charlie Parker goes up to 28. And the Leeward Islands, they are 95 for the loss of 5.
29 is Parker, actually. She's clawing her way to the top position in terms of runs as it relates to the team. So here, bowling, and she Edwards plays it out to short extra cover, and there is no run. The opening bowler, pretty burly person and big in stature. And of course, she was the one responsible for opening the white ball this morning. Here is up again. She's up to bowl to Edwards. She pushes back reasonably aggressively, and I get the impression if that ball was up, she would go over her head. She shows intent, in my view, and of course, Leewards closing in on 100 very shortly, and hopefully they can go well beyond the 100.
We some into bowl to the vice captain. Edwards punches that one through the cover fielder. No harm done. The score remains on 95 for the loss of 5 wickets to the Islands. And they feel a little more spread now. Jamaican. Let's race him again into the right-handed Edwards, and she goes lobbing straight overhead. One bounce.
Two bounces
Into the boundary for 4 runs. Waysome putting her hand on her head, hoping it would have hung in the air a little longer, but that was not to be. And the Leeward Islands now inching their way to the century mark, and that was Edwards' 4, so she's on to
Edwards, I think 8. 7, subject to
She's on to 7.
7, that's right.
at the end of the over.
There's something about Edwards, though. She looks as if she gets it up of the most of the ladies, but if you pitches up in her half, she's going to go up and over. Now here's Parker facing Wilmot. I think that's Watts. Sorry, she's in defense, of course. The keeper runs away from the stumps and collects. Parker. Here is Parker facing again. Outside the leg stump, she pulls some confusion. The ball apparently bubbles from her body and went out in the off stump.
Not really in control.
Not in control, yeah, that's right.
But no harm done. Ball not taking the bat or not trickling onto the stumps. And she faces again and she sees Watts is running in. Right arm spin. And she steps into the middle and she glances
Flicks
that
it
one
away.
down
So
the leg
that's
side.
100? 100. 100, yes. 100 in 130 deliveries. That's not bad going, just that we have lost, Leeward have lost a few wickets more than they would have wished. But the rate is not all that bad. It's just that wickets should be, retained when we're going after runs. 132.
And here is Watts again. And she whacks that one
Single.
square, but only picks up a single. That is
Edwards.
Edwards.
Yeah.
And she trickles on to 8. And Leewards 101 for 5.
Here comes Wilmot again bowling to Parker. She's in defense. It goes back to the bowler. Of course, that's Watts. Sorry, beg your pardon. Watts, in my view, started started to pull apart the Leewards middle order. She's into Parker again, pushes out on the offside for a single, and Parker is settling down now to really to do what she's I'm told accustomed to do. She seemed to be able to rebuild. But let me make way, of course, for Al Edwards. Your thoughts, Biff?
And the Leeward Islands, inching away, perhaps would have liked to have not lost that many wickets at this stage. But nonetheless, 102 on the board. And we know of the adage, runs on the board are runs on the board. And it's 102 for the loss of 5 wickets. Parker, the wicketkeeper, she is there. 31. And Amanda Edwards, the vice captain, she is on 8. As I welcome Al Edwards. And Wasom, it is bowling that one to Parker. Plays it to the mid-off, a little left. The mid-off fielder running around and being able to prevent a single. And it's the tallest figure of Wasom from the pavilion end. And here is Edwards, not really in control of the shot, as it were, taking the inner edge, going down to perhaps what would have been a third slip, fourth slip, and the oohs and the arms coming from the Jamaican team. And no harm done, 102 for 5, Al.
It's 102 for 5. Wasom is in her 6th over. She's bowled none for 23. She hasn't picked up a wicket. Close, but and she's asking when she will not get that one from this vantage point. That's down leg, way down leg. And she's begging almost on her knees, but she's not going to get that one.
And she'll have to work and toil for yet another delivery. And you would have brought a nice breeze with you, Al. It's been here going and coming all day. It's been missing for the past few minutes.
Well, we have to depend on the northeast trades. If it cools down, then we have to depend on the trees fluttering and giving us a little breeze.
And it's Wasom again into Parker, passes the umpire. And Parker watches cautiously, comes half forward, as it were, Al.
Yeah.
Playing that one into the onside, the offside.
Not a full forward defensive and not all the way back. It's just a stand-and block, as it were.
But she's there still. And it's Wasom to try for Jamaica.
Thankful for the Leewards.
And here is Parker turning it around the corner. She will get a single. Her personal tally goes up to
32. I have
32, and the Leewards there 103 for 5. At this stage, the Leewards not being able to get too many boundaries. So would you have kept those fielders out in the deep, or would you have brought them in and applied a little more pressure?
Well, they struck 13 fours in all, and it looks like Edwards seems to be the aggressor. And yes, I would have kept the fielders out because she's not going directly over the boundary. She's going just about one bounce. Could be within range. There she goes. Down. That's again down the leg side. So the ply, Biff, would really be to trap Edwards for those aggressive shots. She's on 8. And I think all of her scoring ones were more or less aggressive strokes, going over the top and that kind of thing.
And it's the end of the over. 103 for 5, Leeward Islands. Parker on 32. Edwards on 8.
We're going into over number 23 with lunch looming. Taylor trying to orchestrate change in bowling. Strange that we haven't seen her bowlers yet. She's saving herself for the latter overs when things need to be tight. She's trying to use all her bowlers. White will come back. White open the ball, and in fact, she's returned the opening bowlers even before she took a stint on the ball. So it's White again, coming into bowl two.
A white signal. And the score inches on to 104 for 5.
Our main researcher here has indicated that Turler had a slight back injury and she hasn't been bowling much in recent times. And so she's dependent on those that she has around her. Here's White. Parker just knocking it down into the offside. She's scoring all right on the offside, but it seems she has some weakness out there. She has some weakness in that offside. More fluent in the onside. Here is, and she hits down straight into the arms of the mid-on fielder. Parker goes. The 6th wicket goes down for the Leeward Islands. It's now 103 for 6. Driving, but not getting over the head of the mid-on fielder. Sorry, it's 104 now. 104 for the loss of 6.
This is over number 22 point. Parker comes off, looking a little dejected. She was
Who caught the ball? Who caught the ball?
very dejected. Very dejected is Parker. 104 for 6, the Leeward Islands. And Ferron taking that catch, running around from a mid-on position. And we have number 68 for Leewards now going into bat. That's Kimberly Anthony.
Yeah, Kimberly Anthony.
Caught, and that was White picking up the wicket.
White now has 2 for 23 into a 6th over. A little more successful than her opening partner in Waysome. But for sure, the Jamaican team will be happy with that score so far. Now, the top half of the Leewards batting is gone. White will continue from the northern end. She comes into bowl. Down the leg side, swing at it, swing and a miss. In fact, it's a wide be signal, and it is just trickle into the boundary as Shadi Nation is not able to get onto that one. Disappointed with herself. 4 more runs for the score. It's now 108 for 6. Correction, that's 109, which was a wide. So 4 runs plus the wide, bowler being penalized on that occasion. 109 for 6, Leewards. Here they come outside the off again. Williams having a tough time behind the stump. As that one went for a bye, so it's now 110. Edwards will now face. Edwards faced 11 balls. She is on 8. 110 for 6. Jamaica. Oh, that would have been a brilliant catch. Falling away to her right, grabbing the ball straight from the bat. It didn't stick.
I think one would call that nonetheless a chance gone a begging Al. Notwithstanding, it was indeed a beautiful effort. Moving to the right, low down. And I guess White happy with the effort.
Well, I'm not sure where you place that one, if it's in drop chances or good saves. Because that one certainly would have gone for 4. It was well struck away from her. She moved quickly, anticipated well, and dove full length to the right with the ball just in the stick. And here is White again. Knocked down to that player who comes to the left this time. 3 fielders converging on the 1 ball, ensuring that there is no run. And so the score remains on 110 for the loss of 6, the Leewards. 23 over suppose.
And we have Amanda Edwards. She's still on 8.
Yes.
Anthony yet to get off the mark. And no doubt the Jamaicans, they would want to really be tight and pick up these 4 remaining Leeward Island wickets, going for the jugular as it were. However, Leewards would want to spoil the show, spoil their party.
Yeah, we'll have a few more overs before lunch. It'll be nice to wrap them up before lunch and then come out and just, during the digestive period, they knock off the runs. Or Leewards would have other ideas to bat on, as we would say.
27 overs.
Kimberly, Anthony to face, field adjusted for her. Field a little bit closer. She nudges out into the extra cover area, no harm. A little bit uppish at first, but there's no close infielder. And that in-out ring of 4 fielders, mid-off, extra cover, and a point. Asking her and urging her to try to pace that field. Waysome, plugging away at the off stump, top of off stump. Shakes it back to her, and in the second attempt, Waysome takes it. Another wicket goes down. It's wicket number 7.
110 for 7, Al. And really a nothing shot as it were. Not troubled by the bowler per se. And popped that one back to her. And mad with herself. But she has to go nonetheless. Leeward Islands, 110 for 7 in the 24th over.
So this is Anthony going back for
Anthony and how many ones she made?
0.
And the walk to the pavilion is even longer, Al, because she only troubled the scorers in terms of the number of balls and time she got out.
Yes, they certainly were troubled because she faced 3 balls, 3 dots, and then they would put down cotton bowl to Waysome, so Waysome picking up her first wicket. She struggled to take that catch after some 3-4 attempts, juggled it, grabbed it, and then threw it to the air. She took control eventually.
110 for 7. And we are into the 24th over.
Roselle Liebert is going to the crease now. And she will take strike from Waysome.
And the vice captain, she is still there, Edwards. She's on 8. And she's looking at the wickets falling all around her. She will have to bear the responsibility of trying to not only bat out the remaining 26 plus overs, but trying to put some runs on the board as well, Al.
She blocks away. As Waysome has picked up her first wicket, she now has 1 for 24 from 6.3 overs. Being encouraged by that one. She's bang on target. Met well by Roselle Liebert. Here she is getting some advice.
And the Leewards will really need to settle and dig deep. The field spread a little wide, Al. So perhaps try to capitalize on a few singles, soft touch.
I think they probably did their homework, because I'm wondering why did they spread the field for Roselle Liebert, who came in for the first time. And unfortunately for Anthony, they tightened up and she succumbed to the pressure. I could understand Edwards, who has been aggressive from the 14 balls she faced. She scored 8. And here she is again. to waste some. Overhead, so I'm talking straight overhead, but this time all the way down to Nation. So she gets a single, two singles over the last couple of balls.
And perhaps hearing us about capitalizing on the singles and the field spread that deep as it were.
112 for 7. Lofted drive attempted, making no contact is Leewards. And so, Waysome. We won for 26 from her 6 overs. Sorry, that's our 7th over, sorry. And now we have our partner in white to continue. White on the other hand is 2 for 28 as Taylor rallies the troop. She's taking the man off, the lady off of the extra cover boundary, bringing her into the covers. She herself is at point. She's tightening that offside ring, forcing them into the onside. The onside is pretty spread. Short mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket. And she swings down to deep mid-wicket, straight into the arms of deep mid-wicket. Easy catch. She didn't have to go left, she didn't have to go right. Straight into the arms of deep mid-wicket. So Edwards goes.
And perhaps not really listening to us about shouldering the responsibility. She made 8.
Yes. That was one of the easiest catches that Shericta Shelton would have taken, as Edwards is walking dejectedly back. Third wicket for White. It's now 8 down, with the score still on 112.
This is over number 22. We're into the 23rd over actually.
No, I think it's now onto the from that end it should be an odd number, so it will be the 25th over. Into the 25th over.
And the Jamaicans, no doubt, feeling in a very good position, Al. Picking up 8 wickets, deep into the tail. And it's Cheyenne Moses, the number 28,
8.
who's coming into bat.
She wasn't quite ready. She was tapping, head down. When she looked at the ball, it was on her, and so dead ball signal.
Yes, dead ball. And these batters really not under any pressure, Al, so to speak. They have the whole of 20 plus overs to play. And we haven't seen anything tricky from the pitch at all.
That's from a Leeward Island standpoint for them to bat out the last 2 batters to bat out 20 plus overs, 25 overs. I'm sure if I look at the Jamaican script, it says something totally different. Let's wrap them up before lunch, have a good lunch, get our feet up, and get the batters out there to knock it off quickly. That's
And
the 2 scripts.
Perhaps they can only beach today.
Most definitely. Most definitely. An ice bath and then head to Frigate Bay.
And they're quite comfortable with the position they're in, the Jamaicans. And they
Leewards meanwhile we're taking notes, learning notes and lessons. Here again we have Rashida Williams having a terrible time, a torrid time at the behind the stumps. Another bye being scored. Score moves on by 1 to 113 for 8. 2 more wickets to dismiss the Leewards entirely.
25.1 overs to bat, which is basically all day. And this is a single, taking the score on to 114 for 8. That was Martin? How many Martin has? And Sharon, she's now facing, yet to get off the mark, plays that one uppishly. One bounce into the cover fielder, who just waited. No harm done. It's the end of the 25th over, Al. And the Leeward Islands 114 for 8.
That's correct.
Half the allotted overs gone, and a little more than half of the wickets down for them.
Still scoring at 4 over, but losing too many wickets.
Yes, they are. And well, at least they have been consistent from that end. From the start of the inning, they were a little about 4, thereabout per over, but not being able to step up. There was a point they were just a little on the 5, however, losing those 2-3 wickets. And we have the number 8, Watts. She's back on the ball. Vanessa Watts from the pavilion end. And she will be bowling to it was a Leewards, standing and basically swiping at that one, going through to the wicket keeper. No harm done. Watts wanting some adjustment, and the mid wicket coming around to short third man. So it's a short third man, backward point. Here is Watts again. And stepping back one step, swinging, connecting, only picking up a single. It's Edwards. Leewards, and she's on to 3 actually. And that brings Cheyenne Moses, who's yet to score, to face. 115 for 8, Leeward Islands. And Watts again asking the skipper to make some changes. She's now employing a backward square. And Moses not quite ready. Dead ball being signaled by the umpire. She looks at her field. She settles once more. And perhaps a little mind game with Watts, not trying to get too quickly to deliver. And here is Moses playing, and she's going to get a single, Al. A little complacent. What's the bowler to her own feeling?
Creeping in on the part of the Jamaican, because we something we are feeling from beating down. So somewhat on the boundary, but if she has sprint in quickly, batsmen ladies, batters will have different ideas. Now they're spreading it again for Leewards. You know, Leewards is not happy. If he comes, it's a practice going to the offside or the split field.
117 for 8, and Moses just getting off the mark. And the instructions at this time, no doubt, should be, hey, steady, bat out these overs. We're scoring at just about 4 runs and over. Pick up the singles here and the bad balls will come. And it's going to be white to continue from the northern end. Much, definitely, Albert, much to the comfort of the Leeward Islands, Moses and Leewards, they are still there. And that is the end of the overall.
And they're going
it's
for
also
drinks.
a water break. 27 overs, 116 or 117? 117 for 8, the Leeward Islands, after 27 overs, Al. White, 29 for 3 off 8 still?
That's correct. She just has 2 more overs. She's taking 3 wickets.
And Tinetta McCoy from St. Kitts, the 12th, at this stage, passing on, no doubt, the message from the technical staff. Steady, you're not under any pressure. You have 23 overs to bat. Bat all day. And at this stage, try to get to 150 in the first instance and then take it from there.
Two players, 12 and 30 are both division now. Leeward Islands side, struggling here at the St. Paul's recreation facility. You see the scoreboard going now in the back right now. We had the pounding earlier. There's some players.
Number 28, Cheyenne Moses, she is on 1. Number 3, Wazel Leewards, she is on 4. And you're not missing any cricket. Refreshment break here. The Jamaicans, they're huddled, as would be expected. A little bit of motivation. Hey, let's wrap it up. Let's get back into the pavilion. If you could hold them down on the 120, that'll be good. 125, okay. But let's get this job done. The Jamaicans, no doubt, telling themselves. It's going to be Moses to face.
The Jamaicans are not that worried in the sense that these 2 batters here are not scoring very quickly. They're simply blocking and then looking to loft the ball into outer space. And so the Jamaicans are keeping the field back just for that eventuality and still keeping a tight ring. It's 2 rings. Especially the deeper field is on the onside as the lady is trying to swing. Here she comes again, comes forward, pushes it out to Stephanie Taylor. Some joke being shared between Taylor and Watts. Yet another block, this time tucked into the onside. Campbell comes across and fields. Watts continues, Watts up, bowls now, down the leg side, asking for a wide, gets it too. So 1 more run to the score. Score is inching along ever so slowly. It's now 118 for the loss of 8. Watts continuing. Up she comes, bowls, loops it up, forward she comes, showing the broad face of the bat in the approved manner. Yes, and it seemed they heard you. They looked as if they want to bat out the overs. One's not being the contention now. Just hold on for as long as possible. Watts, again she blocks straight back down the pitch to the bowler.
And of course, the Jamaicans, notwithstanding in the drivers, frustrating the batters there, batting it out.
And Watts, who did the early damage, picking up 2 quick wickets for the Jamaicans. She has now 4 wickets. 4 for 23. This will be her 8th over. She'll have 2 more after this one. Here she comes again. And a swing down into the onside. They're looking for one. It's not there. White from shot backwards square comes in and prevents any possibility of a run. So the score remains 118 for 8.
And Leeward Islands, not in any hurry, not in any rush. They're playing it here. Not really so aggressive. Perhaps we've seen the better of the aggressive battles.
28
Roselle on 4, Moses on 1. Roselle on 4, Moses on 1. And it is Roselle punching that one out to the extra cover region. She picks up a pair. So she goes on to 6. The Leeward Islands score now 120 for 8 in the 29th over Al.
Yes, it is. As we see Roselle Leewards opening up a bit, this is just what Taylor was preparing for. I guess she expected them to open up on the onside, but this one went over the extra cover area. It was aerial, but well played. She goes again, this time straight down to mid-off. Fields cleanly, threatens a throw.
And
Wisdom takes over.
And they not really so mobile, the Jamaican teams, just striding along, walking along. And here is, and she's giving out LBW, Al. Trying to pull that one onto the leg side, is it? And mad with herself was a Leewards, not really being troubled. And trying to pull that one square, missing everything, and Empire not hesitating at all. So Roselle goals, LBW.
LBW to white for 6.
And the Leeward Islands 120 for 9, Al. The last pair at the wicket. And none of the Jamaicans want to wrap it up this over, get in, have lunch early, and make it a very short day. But we'll have to wait and see how it works out. And Roselle, when she reviews the position, no doubt being a little mad with herself, Al, as we see the number 22 player walking into bat for the Leeward Islands. And that's
Tanya Martin.
Tanya Martin. And batting at number 11, Al. She's a nice little all-rounder from Antigua. And again, no doubt, wanting to bat, because they have all the time in the world, so to speak.
I admire your optimism.
To face some 20 plus overs. 120 for 9 it is, the Leeward Islands.
And we have an all-rounder, nice little all-rounder batting at the number 11. Okay.
I am wondering that.
I admire your optimism.
I saw her play Antigua St. Kitts. I think she made 40 something.
Wow.
She batted at number 7 or 8, 6, 7, 8, somewhere there.
So you're pleading for a similar performance on this occasion. To
Definitely, no
40
doubt.
something, and hope that Moses would hold on with a little 10 to push the score up to about 150.
Perhaps at this stage, I think that
I
should
got
be
you.
150 in the first instance. And anything else would be gravy, as it were.
Oh,
Is it going to be? And that's not going to be, Al. That's not going to be. That won't happen today. It will happen perhaps another time as Tanya goes LBW without scoring the golden duck, as it were. LBW 1 ball. And that's White again onto a hat trick. And White finishing with some 5 wickets, getting a 5 for Al.
yes. The Jamaicans are congratulating themselves. Congratulations all around. Wrapping up this Leewards teams for 120. 120 all out. Well below the 50 over mark. And for the fifer, she gets the ball and to lead off the team. Here she comes, White, all smiles, very proud. The Leewards lasted some 28 overs and they're giving her a round of applause.
Cheyenne Moses coming not out on one. And Cheyenne Moses, she would have actually skipped the Antigua team, Al. The Antigua female team. And Leeward Islands 120 all out at just about 12:09 Al. And the end of the innings, giving the Jamaicans 121 to win. And notwithstanding it's only 120, we know if the adage runs on the board, already runs on the board. Will that be in place today, Al? We'll have to wait and see how that works out.
Well, let's look at the scoreboard. We had Maynard first to go, leg before wicket to White for duck. She was accompanied by Clark. Clark made 20. She was caught by Williams at the wicket off of Watts from 35 balls. Saxena was enterprising. She made 30. She was caught and bowled by Watts. Willett didn't score. She made duck, caught and bowled by Watts as well. Parker was enterprising for a moment. She got up to 32 from 44 balls, caught by Ferron off the bowling of White. Richards was leg before to Watts for duck. Edwards made 9. She was caught by Shelton off the bowling of White. She faced 16 balls. Anthony made a duck. She faced 3 balls. Rosal Leibert just out. Leg before to White for 6. Moses not out on 1. And Martin with the first ball duck. First ball duck was leg before to White. White finished with figures of 5 for 31 from 8.4 overs. Waysome had 3 for 26. Sorry, 1 for 26. Watts at 4 for 23 from her 8. 4 overs bowled by Wilmot for 23 runs. And 1 over was bowled by Campbell, left armour. 9 runs came from her. That's the scoreboard. That's the look of the scoreboard. The groundsmen are out now. Touching up the wicket as it were. Preparing for the second innings, the first innings of the Jamaicans. They're going to give chase to 120. They did 121 for victory.
As we see Coach Percy Sly Daniel, he's heading out, taking a look at it. No doubt formulating some means of attack already, but going to look at the pitch to see if that might cause him to change his mind. And the pitch, a bit of sweeping being done. The light roller will be used, Al, by the Jamaicans. They will be pleased with themselves, limiting the Leeward Islands to only 121 runs in 28.4 overs. White no doubt she's going to be feeling comfortable, perhaps thinking that if I get a couple more fifers, I'll be in very good standings.
Well, it was Watts who started the damage. Watts took 4, and then White came back after her first spell to pick up some 5 wickets. As we saw just a while ago, she led the team off the field and was given the match ball so far, one to put in her cabinet. But there's a very powerful Jamaican team. They've won this competition many times, although Barbados is the defending champion. I think they have 13 championships to their name, and with a score like this, they should overhaul this without much problems. We have Taylor, the captain of the West Indies side at one time. Ashada Williams doing wicket-keeping duties here, although she had a torrid temper behind the stumps. Natasha McLean and Shadi Nation, 4 members of the West Indies current squad. There also is Lena Scott, who is not playing. She's in the reserves today, but she's in the West Indies under 19 team. So a good pedigree team sheet. One would want to back this team sheet to roll over 120 runs in 50 overs. We still don't know much about the bowling lineup for the Leewards, but they will have to have some fearsome people in terms of the pace and spinners with tricks in up their books to stop a powerful side like the Jamaicans, who have had 13 championships over the years.
And their experience they'll want to use that, bringing it to the fold, and having gotten the Leeward Islands out, only 28.4 overs, 120. No doubt they might be thinking, we can't take things for granted. We'll go in there. We'd like to wrap up this quick and in a hurry as well. However, we have to play on each ball on its merit. And no doubt the openers might thinking, we will be able to get this without losing a wicket. But that is talk. It all happens out there on the pitch. That's where the cricket is played, not in the commentary booth, not in the dressing room. And so far the groundsmen, they did say the track is going to be playing through. They did say it will favor the batsmen. And we didn't see anything from the bowling to suggest otherwise. However, perhaps the batters didn't quite capitalize on what was there for them, Al.
I would like to get the thoughts too of Mr. McCall, who has been in the background looking at the crumbling Leeward Islands side. They started out well, a good recovery of a partnership of 40 odd runs between Saxena and the opening bat, Clark.
Yes.
After that, there was nothing much in terms of combination of batters to put up any sort of partnership. We had a very optimistic Troy Biff Mills thinking that the Leewards would last a little longer than they did. And I'm saying that 120 is not much challenge for a team such as Jamaica. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Leewards, in my view, did not apply themselves as they ought to have done. Given yes, they had an early mishap in terms of one run for one wicket. Of course, that any team could be rocked by that, but they came back well with a 42-run partnership, which sort of settled things a bit. However, I think many of the batters did not apply themselves well, and some of them, the first sign of aggression, they played in the air, and they hit one of the areas, and in some cases, they had a few LBWs too, about 3 or 4 LBWs. Which tells me that maybe the eye-hand coordination was not on par. Jamaica could make light work of this total, 120, given the reputation of many of the Jamaican batters, Stephanie Taylor for one, and several others that could tear the Leeward bowling apart. However, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. And we're in, as you would think, that this strong team could conquer. In cricket, anything could happen, and in this case, Leewards would be hoping that something would happen. But I thought that they did not apply themselves well. I saw some of the batters tend to play the ball in the air whenever they want to be aggressive. Must be in the air, and in my view, 1 or 2 of them who really hit it in the air, if they would have tempered themselves well. Leewards could have had maybe a 180, 200, 220 runs, which could have been much more of a challenge to the Jamaicans. But given the reputation of the Jamaicans and the experience that they have, I see they will make light work of 120. However, this is cricket.
This is cricket, and we've seen it happen many times before. The power, many David and Goliath type situations.
Definitely.
We can go world cricket. We can go West Indies cricket. We
can go regional cricket.
We can go regional cricket.
Yes.
We can
all
forms of cricket, even backyard cricket.
Yes.
We have small brothers beating up on big brothers.
Yes.
So it's not just out of the woods. You get 1 or 2 batsmen, put pressure on them.
Yes.
And they may tend to crumble as well.
Yeah, but I don't want to make excuses for the Leewards. They simply did not apply themselves. Maybe they don't have the quality of batting at this stage in their development.
Correct.
You must agree with me that this is relatively new to the Leeward Islands. And, we are still a team in making, and therefore one understands the reason why they would crumble. And I didn't see the bowling had any devil in it. That the wicket didn't do anything that made them make those mistakes. They're simply not as experienced as the Jamaicans are.
Well, I noted that Jamaica has won this competition 13 times.
13 times.
Correct. And I'm almost certain that Leewards have not been playing for 13 years.
That is correct. That
Maybe,
is correct.
maybe within the last 5.
Yes.
And so it shows the disparity in the experience
Yeah.
of the two teams. I would say Leewards is still a developing nation
Yeah.
in relation to this, as opposed to Jamaica, who has been, as we would say, in tongue long.
That's right. They've been around for a while. They've had
For a
all
while.
the experience and all the history, to resort to and to build themselves accordingly. However, the Leewards, Leewards over the years, especially in the main competition, they have learned well and they learn quickly. I remember the days when the Leewards just started playing shell shield cricket. It was, Windwards and Leewards together, and after a while,
Combined
Leewards
Islands.
Combined Islands, and then Leewards went on its own and conquered. I could remember the famous year
sweep.
when we beat everyone.
Clean sweep, clean sweep.
Clean
yeah.
sweep. Clean sweep. So we have developed, and the ladies as well, they will get their chance and they will develop. And one would have to be patient with them and push them as much as possible for excellence, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
But-
what we understand too is that in the execution of this competition, the West Indies, Cricket West Indies is saying that they see it also as a development period, and they are going to have persons on board, the coaches, to guide the coaches and players in terms of the mistakes they make, how to prepare, how to correct the mistakes and
Yes.
things like that. So they see it very much as a development period. They are into their Future Tours program. I'm not so sure where they are at this time, but there was a Future Tours program laid out for the West Indies women up
Okay.
until 2025.
Yes.
And so this tournament, the 50 overs one in particular, they're going to have coaches on board to help the various coaches.
Develop.
So it's not only players, but coaches as well. I suppose maybe managers as well. So it augurs well for cricket development in this form and format of the game.
One wonders if that same attention shouldn't be paid when the Leewards is having their competition, having coaches and the people to advise and to help. To look at the Leewards team now and to try to help them. Yes, that is good, but I think it might be better served. It would be better served when the Leewards are having their
Batters, they are out. Number 74, Sharika Shelton for Jamaica. And she'll be partnered with the number 23. That is Kenisha Ferron. And it looks like it's going to be the opening attack will be coming from the Southern Arc Pavilion end. And that is going to be number 25 for the Leeward Islands, Melissa Clark. She's going to be opening the bowling.
Shelton, is she taking the first ball? That's Shelton.
That's the number Ferron, it looks like.
Farron.
Yeah, she's taken. That one is wide.
Wide
Very
up out
wide.
stump. Trying to get in. Farron.
And the score is 1 without loss. The Jamaicans needing to get 121 in 50 overs. And it's Clark in, that one taking the edge, and they run through for a single. Is there going to be a run out? There's a shy at the stumps by Leewards, and there's going to be an overthrow. One overthrow. Were he to have hit the wicket, that would have been interesting, McCall. But
Yes, there should have been a run out there in my view, given the fact that the ball was taken before the run was taken.
so it's actually 3 without loss. A wide and the 2 runs. And Jamaica, not in any rush whatsoever, getting 121 runs in 50 overs. No doubt they'll try to play positive cricket. No doubt they'll try to get it as quickly as they can. And here is Clark again, bringing Ferron forward. She punches that one out into the cover region. And the score remains on 3 without loss. And they're going to be thinking, the Leewards, to defend and play tight cricket. And here's Clark again, and very close. Perhaps Ferron in form, stepping into the wicket and tickling that one around the corner, perhaps off of the middle stump. And she is now on 3, the score 4 without loss.
Yes, with 120 with over 50 overs, as we normally say, no contest. But like I said, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties, and one would hope that Leewards would come to the fore.
And it's Clark again this time into Shelton, and that one beating the edge, going through to the keeper. No harm done. The score remains 4 without loss. 4 without loss, Jamaica. And Melissa Clark opening tall by the lady standards. And here she is again. That one just about center stump. And it is Shelton coming forward. It's the end of the over. The first over, 4 without loss. The Jamaicans in search of 121 for victory.
Yes, the Leewards really would hope to be a bit tighter, and that incident that happened at the beginning of the over, where a run out could have been effected. They would hope to tighten up on those and put the Jamaicans on a little pressure, steal a wicket or 2, and see what happens after that. The second over, of course, coming from the far end, the northern end. The bowler for the second over, Mills, I really don't have a number on her.
That looks like number 22.
It's Leewards.
That's Tanya. Number 22, Tanya Martin.
Tanya Martin.
And she's going to be bowling from the northern end or the seaside end. And she brings Ferron forward. And it's going to be Tanya. Here she comes. That one a little outside the off stump. And it is Ferron playing it into the offside. Very cautious indeed.
Yes, I wonder why the Jamaicans aren't using their ace card in Stephanie Taylor for opening the innings.
Maybe she's not 100%
Down
fit.
the leg side, wide delivery, of course. The bowler going off cue for a moment, bowling one wide. In fact, the keeper had to skip around to her left to collect that one, and the batsman did not even look around to see where it went. One would have to be tighter than that. That's another wide. We can ill afford, sorry, the Leeward can ill afford any extras at this time.
And another wide again. And that is something that they would have to definitely tighten up on McCall.
Yes.
6 without loss, 2 wide, actually 3 wides.
3 wides in 2 overs.
Yes.
Less than 2 overs. She turns at the far end, and there's one slip, of course, a third man cover, extra cover. She comes in, wide off stump, almost hitting the line for the wide on the off stump, so she's going from one extreme to the other. However, it is within, as far as the umpire is concerned, it's within the required distance away from the bat, so it didn't call. Here she comes again from the far end into bowl to Ferron. Clipped away.
Foolish,
to the
and
deep
they're going to
back
get
square.
runs. It's going to get to the boundary, McCall. That will be 4 runs.
Wonderful.
That will be 4. And that is 4 to Ferron.
Ferron, 4.
She's off the mark. And the score is now 10. 10 without loss.
Yes, and you have 10 without loss with almost 5 wides.
Actually, 3
Extra-
wides.
3 wides, well, almost half. And one would have to limit those and try to get a wicket or 2.
And Tanya, and that's going to be another wide again. And it's 11 without loss. Jamaica in search of 120. And it's important to actually find a rhythm.
You must find a rhythm. You must have your line and length
Line and
worked
length.
out. Here she is again from the far end, bowling just about center. The batsman tried to work it, though it didn't go. It went straight back to the bowler. That's some encouragement, the fact that she was trying to work this delivery. But the fact that she's bowling wide on the leg side and wide on the off means that she's all over the place.
Definitely. And this one, it's going to be a wide again.
Yes. Leewards
And
can
it's
ill afford
12 without
extras.
loss. And you need to actually get your line and length. You say the one-up looks okay. She's looking smooth. We control the delivery. And here is Tanya again. And that one outside the off stump. And it is Ferron playing
That's a
down to
legit.
the short third man. She gets a single. She goes up to 5. And Jamaicans. And it's the end of the over.
Yes, and with just 121 to achieve, and at the beginning you cannot hit in the first over, hit a line and length, and stick with it until something happens. It means that Leewards would have to do much more work on their control, and number one, they have to do a lot more work on the whole aspect of limiting and reducing the number of extras that they bowl. I understand there was one game where Leewards, they were bowled out for 60 and they bowled almost the same amount in wides. Here is Clark into Shelton, and she leaves this one outside the off stump, collected by the keeper, and the ball is nicely relayed from the keeper right around the offside ring back to Clark. And so the Leewards can ill afford to bowl wide. Here is Clark again into Shelton. She's back and forces to cover. It's fielded. There is no run. There's applause all around the ground. That looks good. It looks good for cricket, and it looks good for the women. But let's get rid of the wides and the leg buys. So here comes Clark again, moving into Shelton, outside off stump, little wider of off stump. She leaves it, and it goes through to the keeper. Okay, so there we see some variation. One was closer to the batsman, and this one was a little wider. And you know, many bowlers use that as a ploy. They bowl one close to the batsman and one wide, full of length. You open your eyes and you go after it. Here comes Clark again into bowl to Shelton. That one is hit or steered or edged down to backward point, or say close to the third man area, and there is another run accumulated by the Jamaicans, and so victory is even closer than one realizes.
14 without loss.
That's quite a bit.
And inching their way. Not in any rush, obviously. Only the one coming off the over so far. So they're doing well. The Jamaican, the Leeward Islands is winning. It's over.
That part of the pitch has been bouncing and jumping at some point, because he did that. The Leeward Islands found that there was a little inconsistent bounce down at the at the far end. And here is Clark again moving in, bowling the shot, short, knocked away. They could knocked away to point, well fielded, and the batters had to get back into their respective positions, and so there was no more runs. 14 it is for no loss. The Jamaicans facing 120 from the Leeward Islands.
Just one run coming off of that over. So Melissa Clark, she has bowled 2 overs for 5 runs so far. Tanya having had just 1 over. She continues 1 for 9. She was playing with some wides, had some 4 wides. And she no doubt will want to settle down and correct that. And there's just a field change in. We have backward point, the third man, cover extra cover, mid on, mid off, mid wicket, backward square. And there's a Tanya.
Is that Martin again?
Yes, Tanya Martin, she's back. A much better ball that time.
Much better delivery. That one was asking a few questions of the batsman or the batter.
Forcing Ferron to come forward.
Defend, actually.
And she'll want to concentrate and get another ball. And everybody is ducking. I'm not so no.
Bees.
Bees.
There'll be a swarm of bees
Okay.
passing over.
And one looking would not understand, would consider it a little comical.
There's a
so to
swarm of
speak.
bees coming across. Therefore, they would have to lie still.
And the late Kitchener out of Trinidad and Tobago, his song readily comes to mind, the Bees melody.
Bees, yes.
And they are now back up. And they're moving eastwards.
Yeah, that has happened to me several times while playing cricket. Bees will be migrating or whatever the case may be, and so you find that you have to just lie flat and lie still.
And it's
Here
Tanya
comes
again.
Martin. Okay, that one was short, but just outside off stump. The batter tried to pull it on the onside, and it bounced away to short mid-wicket, and there was no run. Ball was outside off, but she tried to pull. And so that shows some indiscretion on the batsman. Here comes Martin again.
Whoa, that's
that
going to
one
be a
was-
no ball way above the
Yes,
waist.
That one was way above the head. In
Only
fact,
the waist, the height, the head.
yeah, the beamer. Back those days, you were allowed to bowl beamers, and so that one was beyond the beamer. It was higher, and that's a no ball. It's also a free hit, and the umpire has now signaled. So Martin, after bowling 2 very nice deliveries, she's gone back to her indiscretions, if you want to call it that.
And the umpire actually warning one above,
The head.
full pitch above the head. And no doubt that one would have slipped from her. And she continues again, Martin.
Okay. Okay, that one was just about off stump. It was punched out to short extra cover. It was recovered and a quick single taken, and a throw that completed the entire activity. Martin is getting again. She's now beginning to line up. Apart from that beamer in this over, she has bowled a relatively good one so far. Okay, this one, there is some
Whoa, and it's a
discretion.
direct
There
hit.
is a run out.
She's out.
She's run out.
Direct
Vic,
hit.
you'll have to
McCall.
describe this. You have to describe this one.
Direct hit.
Yes.
And there was Ferron playing that one into a mid-wicketish region, and Shelton, who was at the non-strikers end, she took off down the track, but Ferron wasn't interested. The ball was going straight to the fielder in that mid-wicket position, who just let loose at the non-strikers
Direct
end.
hit?
And direct hit, and the umpire in perfect position, didn't have a worry, didn't have any concern. His finger was up almost instantaneously upon the impact of the ball and the stumps.
Yes, please. I think it was good cricket all around. With the running, it was a bit off, given the fact that it seemed as if someone didn't call, but she simply ran down, and as a result of that, then the run out was effected by the person who collected the ball and had a straight hit. The umpire was right there. It was all in front of the umpire, and so it was given out. And so Jamaicans are now, what it is, 15?
16 for 1.
16 for 1.
3.3 overs. And that's a wide.
Gained by Martin, wide.
And that's a wide again by Tanya. After getting that wicket, the team getting that wicket, a little dejected, no doubt, with a wide, but a little elated. And it's Tanya Martin again, outside the off stump. And
Just within the line, though, Ref.
yes, almost close to a wide. And she goes back. The batter just coming forward, looking at it, going through to the wicket keeper. The wicket keeper for the Leeward Islands,
Parker.
Parker. And it's Tanya again from the seaside end. And whipping that one, and she's running through. Could that have been a single? Would it have been a single? No, it's not.
Wouldn't have been a single.
God,
Well,
not-
again, running without calling, apparently. That is not how it's done in cricket. Whenever a ball is played, there's always a yes and no or wait. And so in the case of the Jamaicans, somebody didn't call, she just ran. And a second event just happened again, where a ball was struck out into the extra cover area, and the batter was half the way down, and the other batter just didn't move. Apparently, there was no call. But Martin didn't bowl a bad over there, and seems as though whenever she's bowling, something has to happen. Whenever she bowls well, she asks questions of the batters, and otherwise than that, she's always wide or bowling over the head of the batsman. And so her control is not on cue, and she needs to do some work with regard her control. Now it's Clark again.
And she's going to be facing the new batter, number 12 for Jamaica, and that is Rashada Williams. And that one going to the keeper. No harm done. Leewards getting a little excited. And it's Clark. No doubt encouraged by the fact that the Leeward Islands were able to get one wicket notwithstanding by the one out. Here she goes, passes the umpire. And she's into Williams, who cautiously comes forward, plays it back down the track for Clark to field, who is in her third over. She has had 2 overs, Clark, and only conceded 5 runs thus far. And that's going to be a dead ball. Not too comfortable with something, Clark. $18 for 1. The Leeward Islands. Now into,
Another
and that's
dead
a
one.
dead ball again.
Yeah, Clark seems to be not too settled with her run-up, her approach. If
And
Leewards-
she has been bowling fairly okay.
Yes.
Not fairly okay, very good as a matter of fact. 2 overs, 5 runs. And that one pitched up a bit. And coming forward is Williams. She plays that one square on the offside. No harm done. And Clark, no doubt, really happy with her performance. 3 balls so far, 3 dot balls.
Yes.
She runs in, passes the umpire. William looks at her, comes forward, plays it just to the right of the boulder, mid-on coming around to her left and fielding.
The Jamaicans, they look quite skillful in terms of their defense and their foot movement. In my view, they show that they are much more experienced in terms, in comparison to the Leeward Islanders, and their batters seem to be much more balanced.
And that one shot outside the leg stump, pulled around. Only get a single is Williams. She's off the mark. And it takes the Jamaicans score to 19 for the loss of 1.
19 for 1 represents a very strong position, though, Biff, given 120 and the fact that the Jamaicans are filled with very experienced cricketers.
And they have all 50 overs to play. And here is Ferron tickling that one square on the onside. It's another dot ball, and it's the end of the over. Leeward Islands 19 for 1 at the end of 4 overs. And very good going at the end of 5 overs, 19 for 1, the Leeward Islands. And sorry, forgive me, the Jamaicans, the Leeward Islands being able to keep things 4 runs per over. They would have started at about 4 runs and over. So now that would be some positive, picking up a wicket, keeping the score rate down to 4 runs and over. Of course, 4 runs and over at 50 overs, it means that the game would be finished before 50. But the Jamaicans not being able to really tear this bowling apart, so to speak. We've had a few wides, and Tonya Martin completing her second over. She has now have 2 for 12, Tonya Martin, and Malicia Clark, she has had 3, and that is going to be 4-1 Scochibu. A little short, getting back, pulling it square, and taking the score up to 23 for the loss of 1, Jamaica. And that was Williams, was it?
Yes. Rashida Williams was listening to you, Mr. Troy Biff Mills, when you spoke about not being able to tear into the bowling. And in order to show you that they can, she did, and pulled that ball effortlessly through the backward square area.
And she looks up, sees Tanya Martin is into her again. And that one is going to be a wide. And the score trickles on to 24 for the loss of 1. And the the Jamaicans will be happy however they come.
Yeah, well, so far the extras are doing wonders.
And it's Martin again. That one played to the mid-off region. Only a single is being had. The score goes on to 25 for the loss of 1. Martin into her third over, 2 for 12 before the start of this over. And she's been plagued by wides. She's had some 6. She will have to tighten up. And here she comes, and that one punched back down. She knocks it into the offside, no field.
But I think the coaches need to have a closer look at how she's bowling, because she's pushing the ball into the batsman's pads. They're just clipping up to mid-on, and in most instances, other instances, they go for a wide.
And here she is again. And that one punched in the offside, a little square, and the batters will have to hurry. Keeper Parker well in position. The throw one bounced in, and the batters were able to get home safely, 26 for 1. And no doubt thinking a direct hit may have caused the umpire to think about it somewhat. That was not to be. And Rashida Williams, she's on 5. Farron, she's on 9. 10. And it's going to be Tanya Martin in once more. Dabbed down to the short third man. Another single. And that takes the score 27 for 1 at the end of the 6th over, Al.
Well, I think she bowled a wide in that over, so the over may not have been completed. Yes, she's going to continue.
Okay, yes, indeed.
Remember, she keeps pushing the ball down to the legs of the batters. One was sent into the boundary, the next one went wide, the next one slipped up to mid-on. And she recovered.
And that one is going to be out caught. That was basically a gift for full toss, Al. And putting it every place else except 2. And could have put it any place else, but chose a fielder. And Tanya being rewarded with the wicket caught with the score on 27. And no doubt the batter very irate with herself. And that is Farron. And not at all too happy. She made 10. She was caught off the bowling of Martin caught Willett, off the bowling of Martin. And 27 for 2. At the end of 6 overs, the Jamaicans and the skipper, Stephanie Taylor, she is now going into bat. And no doubt would have been hoping that she didn't have to, but nonetheless, she goes down. And she joins Rashida Williams, who is on 6. 27 for the loss of 2 Al at the end of 6.
Not bad going. They just at the last 2 wickets. 2 wickets too much maybe. Here is Clark to Williams. Williams just steered it onto the offside. No run. Still 27 for 2. The last excitement was Farron pulling the ball in the air, putting a full toss that could have gone anywhere, putting it over to Willett. Here's Clark up to the bat, drives through the cover area. It's going down to the boundary. It will get there just beyond the fielders. So it's 4 runs. Been signaled now by the umpire. The score moves on by 4 to 31 for 2. And Rashida Williams of West Indies fame is motoring on, pushing on the score. Bringing it down nicely indeed. Here is Clark again to Williams. Up delivers. Shot outside the off. I think that one is a wide, or just barely not being a wide. She fanned at it, but couldn't make contact. The ball went through. through the keeper, but the batsman weren't allowed. They probably was looking for the wide. They could have taken a single. They could have taken a single with the ball going all the way down to third man, the third man area.
But a wide plus the single. That's
Would have,
runs.
would have been 2 runs. But the umpire didn't signal. So maybe it was just about that guide, that line. Here she comes again. Williams. Outside the off stump, playing inside it, I think. Ball going to Parker. No run. Still 31 for the loss of 2. A run out and a catch by Willett. Martin taking the 1 wicket so far.
And the Jamaicans perhaps thinking it would have been nice to get this 121 without losing a wicket, really. But that's Imperial. That's Imperial.
An intelligent edge we see in there from Williams. Edge. Not in the direction of any player. All the way down to third man. 1 more run. 32 for 2. And so Stephanie Taylor will come to face her first ball. She's been at the non-strikers and watching the action with Rashida and Clark. Let's see how the back injury that she has would affect her batting, affected her bowling, but batting is a different story. Here she comes. Clark. Uppish. Stroke nicely into the offside.
It will get before Al. Beautifully
He's
struck.
nicely. Looks a
Effortless,
class.
basically.
Looks a class player.
And obviously,
Looks at the end of the over. It's 36 for 2. Taylor on 4. Williams on 12. 4 and 12 the score, the batters. And the bowlers, let's see who will continue from the other end. Is it Kimberly? Kimberly is going up to the umpire. That's Kimberly Anthony. Wearing number 68 jersey, Kimberly Anthony will take up the bowling from the northern end. Short discussion between Taylor and Williams. The bees would have come up here and told me that Taylor was saying to Williams, take a look at her first, see what she has before tearing her apart. Here comes Anthony. Short. Williams, obeying the advice of her captain, watchful, knocks it down onto the outside of the pitch. Gives Anthony a dot ball for her first delivery in this match. Still 36 for 2. Jamaica giving chase 121 for victory. Anthony up, drive back past the bowler, but the fielder coming around. That's on the mid-off area. It looks like, almost looks like Wazell. And that's Martin. Martin is in mid-off. Here is Williams, facing up. Anthony opens the face of the bat in a defensive stroke, looking polished, watchful, wants to stay all day.
and the player's not looking to in any haste, Al. And it's Anthony once more. And that one full has the umpire squealing, ducking. One bounce into the boundary, Al, 4 runs.
You don't have to be in any rush. If you're going to wait on the ball bar like this one, put it away. Other than that, bring out your forward defensive. And you'll be well on your way to victory. So it's now 40. 81 needed for victory.
And
And
Rashida
still
Williams,
early goings.
of course, we're only into
So
the 8th
as,
over.
as we say, normal cricket, no need to rush and get flustered. Normal cricket. These bowlers are not perfect. And it seems if they're coming up with a bad ball every now and again. So let's wait for that.
And it's going to be Anthony. Asking for a field change. The backward square drops out on the boundary. The third man comes into a short third man position. And it's Anthony once more. And here is Williams playing that one out to mid-wicket, not being able to beat the fielder. And the umpires confirming there's one ball left in the over.
You saw that signal, Biff?
Sorry?
You saw the signal?
Yes.
Oh, you're custom. Okay.
It's Anthony once more in a little wide, and that one taking the, well, perhaps maybe guided, taking the edge down to the short third man. So it's a guided edge, as it were, Al.
Yes, edge indicating where he wanted to go. But went straight to that fielder. Number 18, Maynard.
40 for 2 at the end of the 8th over. And Anthony just conceding the first run, the four from the over. And it's going to be
Labor to bowl. It was a labor.
and she'll be coming in from the pavilion end. And she has a third man, backward point, cover mid on, mid off, mid wicket, a deep mid wicket boundary, backward square, and there's a fine leg. And she looks around, makes certain that her field is how she wants it. She goes in, right arm off spin. And that one is going to be a wide arrow.
A bit of a slinging action. Just didn't get it right. Wide, well wide outside off stump. She wants a signal. Signal for the wide. Score moves on by 1 to 41.
And here she's again, Roselle. Bringing the batter forward, punches it out into the offside. Backward square, forward square actually comes around. Picks up, gets it back to the bowler, no harm done. 41 for 1. We're into the 9th over. 41 for 2, into the 9th over. And that one taking the edge, it will race away to the third man boundary. It crosses the boundary now. 4 runs. And that was a I thought that was actually an edge. Some persons might say it was guided. But I thought, but nonetheless, I think what scores is the 4 runs. So it's 45 for the loss of 2. Jamaica in search of 121 for victory. And Taylor coming forward, allowing that one to go through to the wicket keeper. And the score remains on 45 for the loss of 2 Jamaica. Taylor. Skipper Stephanie Taylor on 8. She plays that one into the offside. The bowler runs around to her left. Was a Leewards and fields. And she's now ready to bowl again. Final delivery perhaps. Taylor coming forward. Plays it into the mid-off region. No harm done at the end of the 9th over. 45 for the loss of 2. Jamaica in search of 121 for victory.
Well, easy goings for Jamaican, good goings. They have recovered somewhat to reach up to 45, almost to the 50 mark, almost to the halfway mark for this one's chase. And they have Anthony to tangle with from the northern end. Taylor looking quite watchful, taking on their time. And so she has also advised Williams to do the same thing. We just saw Williams in a more defensive posture from the last over with just 1 boundary. Not looking to get them in any pell-mell sort of haste. Here she comes again. Anthony drives this one, taking the edge, going through the backward point area. They will only get to get 1. Another intelligent edge. Edges that go anywhere that there are no fielders. There's intelligent edge. Up-pitch
Once the score ticks on, no problem.
probably would have been an easy picking for gully, but at this stage, you can't afford a gully. They have a short third man, backward point, cover extra cover, mid-off, on the offside. Short wicket, mid-on. Deep mid-wicket as well. Defending goes Taylor. Ball rolls out into the offside, picked up by extra cover. 46 for 2.
Anyone.
A drive up to mid-on. They have to hurry. She does so. Single. 47. 47 for 2. Anthony into Williams drives straight to the. Is that a short extra cover? There's a ring of fielders on the offside there. 1, 2, 3 of them trying to prevent any penetration whatsoever. Anthony.
But that is a guide on this occasion.
Yeah, a late dab, full face of the bat. Looking for 2. And 2 it is. It's now 49. Urged down by their teammates in the pavilion. Nice little late dab, as you would say. Getting it through the gap and getting 2 runs. 49. The ball down the leg side. Anthony. 50. 15, 69 deliveries, and they struck 6 fours. 10 more runs and they'll be halfway forward in the approved fashion. Head down, broad face of the bat. Posing for the cameras. End of the over. It's 50 for 2. Jamaica.
It's the end of the power play as well. Stephanie Taylor, she's on 11. Rashida Williams, she is on 17. 19 and it's the end of the power play, the first power play that is. And the Leeward Islanders, they're now allowed to have maximum of 4 fielders outside of the circle. They're pushing back an extra 1. They have 3. You have a third man, backward point, cover, extra cover, long off on the boundary, and that one finding the gap. It's going to race away, very slowing up at the boundary, and it's going to be 4 runs through the mid-wicket region, and the score goes on to 54 for the loss of 2, and that was Stephanie Taylor picking up her third 4. And perhaps not thinking about doing too much running around, from her point of view, Al.
Well, we heard in news that her back was not too well, and so the less running she will do the better for her. She can go to get her recovery and icing and so on. Don't have to run all over the place.
And looks around, ready to face Leewards. A little wide, and she goes after it, punches it through the covers, blocked down, no harm done. Rehearses the shot, perhaps thinking, had I got it a little to the left or to the right, I would have been able to pick up a single, but that won't happen today. Maybe tomorrow it happen. And it was a Leewards in and stepping out on the onside and trying to tap that one on the off. Not making contact, bringing about a bit of excitement by the Leeward Island players. More hope than anything else.
Well, she almost bit the edge. I was hoping for that. Because the keeper was there. Looking to wrap it up.
54 for the loss of 2. And here's Leewards. Stephanie Taylor steps back and she punches to the extra cover. She will get 1. Anthony Taylor runs around and picks up. The score advances to 55. And easy going, they're not in any rush, have all day.
Why should they be?
And we are only into the 11th over. So they have 50 overs. And Al, here is Leewards into her, punches it down to the long arm region, gets a single, does Williams. That takes her on to 20. And the score on to 56 for the last of 2. And Leewards perhaps not too happy with their 120 Al, but was it Guyana? Actually not faring as good as the Leewards.
Yes, Guyana made 78 against Windwards.
And that one is going to be pulled away 1 bounce, 2 bounces into the boundary, 4 runs, full down the leg side, and basically a gift.
As I normally say, the only thing missing is the gift wrap paper. And Taylor nonetheless accepted it without gift wrap paper and dispatched it back with the square 1 or 2 bounces before hit the boundary rope. And she moved on. Move on her score, move on the team score.
She's now to 18. Taylor the team score on to 60. And that completes the 11th over. 60 for the loss of 2, Jamaica. Halfway there, just about halfway there, Al needing to get 121 for victory. And all the time in the world, as it were. And the Leewards, I'm not certain if sensing the inevitable, not really a lot of life in their movement. And it's Anthony to continue. That one guided down to the short third man, not being able to get a single there. Skipper Taylor. Sorry, that's actually Rashida Williams. She remains on 20. And the score 60 for the loss of 2. Anthony once more coming forward. Williams pushing it back down the track. Anthony sticking out that left boot and stopping it. Bends over, picks it up. And she's returning to her mark, thinking about next delivery. How should I bowl it? Where should I drop it?
Trinidad and Tobago was all out 161 against defending champs Barbados. Warner Park.
And here is Williams coming forward, guiding that one down to a shortish third man position. Jamaica in search of 121. Anthony once more passes the umpire. And here is Williams coming forward, placing it out into the mid-arm region, shy at the stumps, backed up beautifully. A direct hit would have brought the umpire into question. Out, not out, that would have been a decision, but not a bad idea, really shying at the stump.
A little more aggression from Clark. It could have been closer. She came in slowly and then decided to get aggressive and throw at the stumps, but missed. And so the batters were safe.
And Skipper Taylor, she's now going to field. She steps back and elegantly pushes that one out square, but isn't able to beat Cheyenne there at the cover region. And the score remains 61 for 2. It's Anthony once more into bowl, and Stephanie comes across and allows to go through, watches it as it goes to the keeper, looks up at the umpire, hoping it would have been a wide, but not on this occasion. After 12 overs, the Jamaicans 60 for the loss of 2, 61 for the loss of 2, in search of 121 for victory. And they're just a little over the half mark, and we're only 11 overs. So they're not going to do anything rash. They're not in any rush, not in any hurry. And they continue. And McCall, she's going on. And it looks like Melissa Clark.
Yes, she injured her finger. She looked like she injured her finger on that pick up and throw. They attempted one out? Yes. And so she's off, and it looks like Tynetta McCall came on for her. Here is Leewards to Williams. Williams going through mid area. Tynetta getting her first action. Fields, tumbles over. Throws back in. Oh, and looking for a second one. The ball is still live. So Williams get a fortuitous second one from a ricochet from Wazell's feet was a Leewards. She's now rubbing the spot.
That takes her up to 23. 4-3 a single, but they'll take them how they come out.
Yep.
And this is Roselle. And one may wonder if the action isn't a little suspicious.
Yeah, she looks like a slinger.
But then
A
again,
slinger spin bowler.
in the old days, the umpires could have called and signaled no ball, but now you'll have to actually report it. And here she is again, coming across really, and playing it down. The bowler runs down the track, picks it up about mid-pitch. And the suspicious action, Al, you know, remember Malinga it was?
Yes, Malenga.
Underwent some stringent tests. And
I
it's,
see there's another one playing in the IPL as well.
and here is that one being played backward of square for a single. And that carries the score to 64 for the last of two.
Well, Williams brought out the boom on that occasion and swept cleanly down to back of the square.
And the Taylor picks up another single, punches that one down to the long on region. She goes on to 19. Rashida Williams, 24. Both batters not really being troubled.
No, they're comfortable, man.
Extremely comfortable. And it's Roselle Leiber to try again for the Leewards, and that one full downside the leg. It's the more sweepish shot. Got one looking for two. Wondered now if they should have taken it, but too late. It's now 65 for 2 at the end of the 13th over. 66 for 2 at the end of the 13th over. And I will now, Mr. McCall, he will come in as I make way and leave everything up to himself and Al.
Good afternoon to you all. Hope you enjoyed your lunch today. Of course, the Leewards are not having had lunch already. They are not doing as well as they would like. 66 for 2, Jamaica. Traveling on very well. Beyond the halfway mark, as I take it. And on course to win quite easily.
Two well-set batters with West Indies caliber. They're comfortable, they're set.
Another ball to Stephanie Taylor. She tucks this one. Is it Taylor or Williams?
That was
Tucks
almost
this one out
Williams.
to square leg and 1-1. And the bowler's name I must get correctly.
This is Anthony.
Anthony. So it seems as though they're going along well, but in cricket you will never know. It takes one or two little incidents and then things just change. Here's Anthony into bowl to Taylor. She leaves very well as it is lined up outside the off stump. Of course, all is well that goes well. I've seen in cricket where people leave and then ricochet into the stumps, hit the pad or something. Here is Anthony again from the far end to Taylor, plays it down to short long off. There is no run. 67 for 2. One came via the run out route. The other one was a splendid catch. Here is Anthony. She's overseas and in the international arena. Of course, they should shine at this level. As Anthony moves in again to bowl to Taylor. Taylor flicks it away to a square leg, past the square leg umpire, and someone comes off the boundary. And the field's just 1-1. So that's, here we are. We're 68 now for 2 wickets at the end of that over. And of course we do This is what number over is this, may I ask? The 14th over. So they're going along very well, and no need to worry in terms of the run rate, thing like that.
No need to worry. One weight is not in question now. Having 50 overs, having 50 overs to chase 120.
Yes.
What is more important that they are building a partnership. They are Williams on 25, Taylor on 20, and they last came together. They scored on 27 or something like that.
Mhm.
Yes, 27 for 2 it was at the point in time when Willett took the catch to dismiss Ferron after bowling of Martin. And since then, Leewards haven't rushed the pad, as we would say.
All right. Here is our Leewards. Plays it on the other side of the wicket, and there should be 2 here. They take 1. In fact, there is no more. 69 for 2. As that one was played back on the other side of the wicket to the bowler. And I always talk about playing the ball to the non-striker. Sometimes it's harder for the bowler to get that one, and you're in short of a single. Here's Leewards again, and Taylor plays it out to, that's Williams, plays it out to a short mid-wicket area, a short long on, sorry. And there's a misfield, and therefore a run was taken.
It looks like Cecina was the guilty person, 6 or 66. Which was it? No, Willett.
She misfield. Here she's flicking this one again down to back of the square, of course, on halfway there, and the single taken. You see, easy does it. There is no risk required. There is no need for risk, and therefore it should be easier done than one would expect.
Normal cricket, we'll say. Normal cricket.
Normal cricket. 1s and 2s. Once those 1s and 2s are coming, there's no need to worry.
And then you can depend on a little wide, no ball now and again.
This one is again played to the short mid-wicket area. And of course, most balls are angled apparently into the pads, and therefore they are flicked more into the onside than we see offside shots. The umpires are asking for an adjustment somewhere, or asking
Fielder outside.
the fielder outside the field to
You have on a babe or something.
yeah. Oh boy. I'll let you describe that one.
Well, it was an easy knockback. She anticipated well and pushed her hands too quickly, rather than comforting than just
Let it
letting the ball
come.
come to her
Yeah.
and cushion the ball. She pushed at
Yeah.
it, and ball hit the hard part of the hand as well.
That's a drop catch. A great opportunity, Leewards. There was an appeal, the ball up, obviously angling down the leg side. The appeal was negated, but the ball before that, an opportunity was given for cotton bowl, and the bowler did not take it. And that could be the miss. That could be the wicket that Lee was waiting on, and that could have been a change in their fortunes.
At least one of them, because that was Williams, who was well set at this time.
Yes.
And it wasn't a difficult chance, just that she was probably too anxious and pushed her hands at it, grabbed at it.
Instead of waiting for it to come.
Yeah.
to it. So 74, am I saying?
I think it's 71.
71 for 2 as it stands in the this will be the 16th over, if I'm to be correct. And of course the umpires are conferring along with the bowler. One wonders what could be the issue. The 2 batsmen are together having a conversation, and much of the Leewards team spread abroad and maybe not knowing what the issue really is. Maybe it's an issue just with the bowler and the 2 umpires. So 71 for 2 Jamaica. I'm facing 121. It's, in my view, a very simple target, and with 2 experienced batters at the crease, there is no need for panic. There's no need for risk, and so Jamaica should be able to win this one, all things being like that.
Well, it's quite a long conversation. We're yet to figure out what it is that they were having this conversation about, but it looks as if play will resume.
Yeah, the umpires are going back to their respective positions. So are the fielders. And the bowler, Kimberly,
Look like a little bit change.
is a
in
change
bowling.
of bowler. And this one is okay. Amanda.
Yes. The vice captain Amanda
Amanda Edwards,
will come from
vice
Northern
captain.
End. Yes.
She's going to take it from the far end, and of course she'll be bowling to, looks like, Stephanie Taylor, and of course with her first over, she's a right arm off spinner. She's struck on the part. She's out. LBW. She is out.
No, I think
LBW.
it's bold.
Oh, she's bowled. That one kept low. Here was a ball from Amanda Edwards. Her first delivery. The ball touched down just about an off stump or just thereabout, and apparently it kept low, and it went obviously between bat and pad and bowled her. This is Stephanie Taylor being bowled, and Jamaica losing their third wicket, 71 for 3, and in my view, if that one was taken the over before,
yes.
there could have been 4 wickets down and problems.
Making a game of it. But
Yes.
nonetheless, it's Stephanie Taylor who has been dismissed.
Number 45, McLean.
Natisha McLean, another West Indies player playing
She's
from
coming
Jamaica, coming in now. Natisha McLean is coming after a wry smile from Stephanie Taylor. She knew that one kept well. She opened up to try to get it, but it just nipped back enough to go between her legs and knocked out the center stump.
Yes, she the ball didn't do what she expected apparently, and she was not careful, and it bowled her. It was quite extraordinary, given the fact that she was so well set, and given her experience and her prowess at the international level. She was bowled by first delivery by the Leeward Islands vice captain Edwards, and simply it was too much for me to believe. Stephanie Taylor bowled by
But Edwards.
Amanda Edwards.
Yeah, that's the same thing Biff was talking about, the eternal optimist Biff. You know, Biff was saying if you could get 1 or 2 of those wickets,
Yeah.
you can still be in a chance to defend 120. I was trying to be a bit more real. We said that 120 in this form of cricket, you don't
Yes.
need to do anything extra special. But it seemed as if there was a glimmer of hope for them that they'd taken that catch before. Plus Stephanie Taylor, you'd have Williams and Taylor back in the sheds
Exactly.
with the score on 70-something for 4-5.
We could have had a better game.
Oh yes, so far.
But
Let's
it
see if
is still much with the Jamaicans, though.
yeah, let's see if you can still
Yes.
put up a fight, even though you're probably going down.
Okay.
Can't tell them die with your boots on.
Edwards, first delivery, and in my view, she did very well. Okay, the umpire has signaled or is signaling maybe a restart of play. This is the second ball from Lady Edwards, Amanda Edwards. This time she'll be bowling to McLean, another one of West Indies fame. Here comes Edwards, bowl to McLean. She turns it on the onside, trying to get a single, and Williams trying to think about a single. It was not on, and she got back into a crease before being run out. And so let's see what Edwards would look like against McLean. McLean plays this one on the offside, beating the person at the short long off position, and it goes down to where a single was taken. And so there was one for McLean. She's off the mark, actually. So here comes Edwards bowling to Williams. That one was way up in the block hole. She simply dug it out. That was a good delivery. Asking some questions, and she was, her head was over it. She looked as if she would like to have driven this one, but it was simply too far up, and so she had to cool on it. Edwards moves in again and bowling to McLean. That's Williams. It's a wide on the onside. She missed it. Parker took it, but it's considered a wide, and so therefore Amanda Edwards transgressed once again, but this time by the wide route. Here is Edwards, short delivery, punched out to short mid-wicket, and there is no run. This could be, a rather good over, given the eventualities of the next few balls. So far, it's been a good over. In comes Edwards again, bowling short and walked around to the onside. Again, no runs. And seems as though Williams is not adept at pulling anything. She plays everything in a correct manner. That's the end of the over, though. And a wicket with just about 2 runs with it. And
A mixed bag because she took the wicket first ball, the wicket of Stephanie Taylor, bowled for 21.
bowled,
Some 24 balls.
okay. And Edwards, she considered she had a good over, as far as I'm concerned. And now the other bowler. Okay. .74, I think it is. 73 for 3.
This one is Leewards.
The Leewards is a
Is that a
spin.
jab catch we just saw?
A catch
The-
outside, yeah?
Yeah, edge to the keeper. Look, it came out of the keeper's glove,
Oh,
but they really
Parker-
reacted. Could have been a jab catch.
Parker didn't
Parker.
gather the one. Okay, in comes punched away to extra cover. No runs. Quite athletic, trying to show her quickness and threatening to run out just in
Amanda
case.
Edwards.
Amanda Edwards, huh? So she's again bowling to McLean. McLean hits past Edwards, goes down to the fielder down the extra cover boundary, and it goes across the boundary for 4, unfortunately. But
Went through Kimberly Anthony, who came across in a half-hearted sort of way, and didn't affect the save. So what should have been 1 is now a boundary for 4 to McLean.
well, it was a short delivery, and she put a bat on it. It wasn't played with any force in my view, but she got 4. Here she comes again bowling to McLean. She plays 2 cover, misfields, and this one could run again into the boundary.
No, that one
They
will
took
stop.
1, they take 2, and the throw comes in. Let's see what it is. Okay, not a good throw, but at least 2 runs nonetheless. The Leewards have to tighten up on 1 or 2 things if they are to put any pressure on Jamaica. They have had the wicket. They have had a couple of opportunities, and if they would tighten up on things, they could make something of it. This one is played out to the short mid-wicket area, or just short square leg, and no runs affected. 121 is the target.
Yeah.
There are 2 experienced players from Jamaica at the crease. There is no need for the risk. There is a risk. It goes high over to the mid-wicket area. There is 1. They're turning for 2. The throw is not strong, but at least 2 runs affected. There wasn't a risk in that, really. But
No.
when everything goes in the air, one always thinks there's an opportunity.
She chipped down and clipped it into the vacant cow corner area. The fielder came around. That was Tonya Martin, and she effected a smart save by pushing the ball away from her rather than trying to create that hole. But she couldn't stop the second one, as the throw had to be from some distance, and not with an extra strong arm. The batters were able to get 2 runs to push on the score. Now 81 for the loss of 3. 40 runs required for victory. Amanda Edwards to continue.
Attempting to play to the mid-wicket area. It struck on the pad. It's inside the left stump. She missed it anyway, and it's just bounced out to the person at the short back leg. In comes Amanda again. It plays back to her. Bump ball, as we call it. And I know Biff would have appealed if he had been close by, but that's a bump ball. And so 81 for 3. She's up again. This one plays to the non-striker. Normally there's a single to be had there, but she's quick. She's very athletic, and she got across, and she prevented what could be a single. In comes Amanda Edwards again. It is quite correctly forward defensive, head right over the ball, and everything you can think about a forward defensive stroke was put into that one.
Oh yeah,
yes.
making sure that that ball don't penetrate like
Yes.
what happened to Stephanie Taylor.
Stephanie Taylor. This
Kept
one
it
kept low.
again. Yeah.
This one kept low, but again, back in defense, and it goes back to the bowler. There are a few things that Leewards would have to look at in terms of their fielding. Looks a little in disarray sometimes. Here she's on again, full delivery, pulled away. That could well be 4. That's
Oh, you dropped. Okay.
4 runs.
Drop on the inside.
Yes, a long hop. I mean, one that was straight from the hand onto the bat and swung away for 6 by, that was McLean, or it was Williams?
Looked like Williams this time.
And it struck away for 6. And that sort of bowling, no, you apparently slipped from her hand, though. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. She has done very well up to this. Slipped from her hand, struck away for 6.
The countdown is on. The countdown is on. It's now 85. That's 15 and 21. 36 for victory.
36.
So no doubt the coaches and the other fans in the stadium are counting down.
Yeah, well,
Depending
you know,
on these two to see them through.
yes, but if Leewards can strike again and create some uncertainty, and
Put some
the
respectability.
whole question about defending small totals is you have to create uncertainty in the minds of the you know, and then put pressure. Then after pressure, there's panic. Then afterwards, you have a chance to at least call the shots and bring off a victory.
Looks
There's
like
a
it's
new
gonna be
bowler.
change in bowler.
A change in bowler. I'll you take that one.
This is Saxena.
Saxena.
Yeah, changing the field.
You were doing some investigations as to who she is. I mean, her name seems
Boy,
quite.
name beating me, but
Yeah, he's beating. Your name is
don't know
beating.
where that one came from.
Saxena. Yes. Well, that's okay.
Huh?
Sure. Saxena. Yeah, that one beats me. Well, Saxena is up against McLean. She's up and she's bowling to McLean. Short pulled away, 4 runs.
No, not
Maybe.
yet,
No,
not yet.
sorry, beg your pardon. Do forgive me. Lady runs away from long on and collects, and there are 2 runs to be had. Do forgive me. I thought it was powerfully struck like Al Edwards used to hit them when he played, but that's not the case. It really was kite, and it almost fell dead a while ago.
I think he
Yes.
mixed me up for some other Edwards.
Okay,
Oh, I
Saxena
never-
bowls wide off stump, a wide is called, and that wouldn't help the cause of the Leewards, but these things do happen. 88 for 3. And of course, here is Saxena driven this one through the extra cover and gone away for another boundary. At this point, I will call upon my friend Biff Mills to replace me, to bring it on to the end, so that himself and Al will do the wrap and do everything. Okay, thank you very much.
Very optimistic there, McCall, bring it down to the end.
Yeah.
And of course, this is cricket, wonderful cricket, lovely cricket. Anything could happen. Saxena in, and that one played into the mid-wicket region. No one being had there, and the score remains on 92 for the loss of 3. Jamaica in search of 121 for victory. And Saxena, and that one is drive backward of square. It races towards the boundary. Will it get there? And no, it does. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Nice bit of footwork there. A bit of speed, and only limiting the batters to 2 on that occasion. A beautiful piece of work there, Al.
the football scouts may be interested in that person who chased down that ball because it was speed over the ground and then some fancy footwork to save all of 2 runs. But Saxena is a bit loose in her bowling and being picked apart by the bowlers here. He slammed into the outside again with McLean, but no one this time. At least she's able to get a dot ball before the floodgates open. Saxena to bowl to McLean. McLean seems to be in a no-nonsense mood. She's one ready to go to Frigate. She comes forward this time, knocks it down, just past the bowler, looking for a single, and she'll get a single too. Poor feeling on behalf of Saxena.
And the score goes up to 95. It's the end of the over. And of course, the Jamaicans just easy going, easy like Sunday morning, strolling the park, not in any rush, not in any hurry. They're just content to steady here and play it around here, there. A 4 comes, Al. We haven't seen a 6 in the innings, so in the match so far.
It seems as if you're a very prophetic guy, because everything you say come to pass. So maybe McLean will attack this one and knock the ball into the boundary.
We never tell what happened.
She has scored 18 so far from 14 balls. And here we see now a wide, and they're taking advantage of the fact that the keeper couldn't control it. And so they're going to get two to the scoreboard. A single and a wide.
96 for how much? 96 it is now. 97?
97 for 3. 22 more for victory.
McLean is on 18. And
this one is Williams, Rashida Williams.
Rashida Williams still there. She's on how much? In her half century, she's on 31. Would she get there? And there's an appeal for a leg before. I don't know if it's the commentator's curse, Al. Just when I thought she's staying there looking for her half century, here she was, perhaps caught in no man's land, not going forward, not going backward, struck plumb in front, and the umpire, no hesitation. She goes mad with herself, furious, perhaps saying, I had an easy half century, but that was not to be. She goes LBW for 31.
It would have been difficult, Edwards. Edwards the bowler, it would have been difficult for her to get the half century, Biff, because it's only about 20, 22, 23 runs on for victory. She probably would have had to farm the bowling, but I'm sure McLean would have none of that. So she would have been difficult to get a half century, but she would love to be not out, raise her averages. But it's now 97 for 4, 24 runs for victory. Nation is the one who replaced Williams. So Nation is in, McLean is in, yet another powerhouse, another representative of the West Indies playing for Jamaica. And Edwards getting a bit of success. 2 wickets, 2 big names, Williams and Taylor to her name.
Big names indeed. At this stage, well, nobody really minds if they're big or small. It's just that Jamaica losing another wicket. If she could get another 2 wickets, 3 wickets, I mean, we could be probably facing...
I have a name for you, Biff. The Eternal Optimist.
And here's Amanda. A Nation pushes that one down into the long off region. She picks up her first run. And the score goes to 98 for the loss of 4. And the target right now, let's get to the century and then we go to the 121. It's now McLean who is an 18 to face. She comes forward, pushes it into the offside. She doesn't get a run. She remains on 18. The Jamaican total 98 for 4, chasing 121 for victory. It's Edwards again, looking to whip that one backward on the onside, not being able to chase to penetrate the 45 there. She remains on 18, 98 for 4. The Jamaicans, and it's going to be the vice captain of the Leewards team, Edwards, to try again. And that was an invisible ball, not having released. Dead ball being signaled by the umpire. Not too happy about something, Edwards. She goes back, she tries. Backward point, cover, extra cover, long on, long off, mid-wicket. Punches that one down to the long off region. McLean, she goes to 19. And the score goes to 99 for the loss of 4, Jamaica.
End of the over, 99 for 4. The applause for the 100 has been delayed until the next over.
Over number what? 20.
We are going to bowl over number 20. It will probably come in this over. But they need 22 for victory at this stage. We're looking to see which other teams are nearing victory at this stage. I have not much update, but I understand the games are brought live on YouTube. Saxena is going to continue, and if she doesn't tighten up, this game could very well be over soon. Oh, good ball on that occasion. And I was about to ask senior statesman, Mr. McCall, what exactly is the black hole? I've asked that question many times. How did they come by that name? Maybe we can start the discussion. How did they come by the term black hole?
Huh? McLean is now on 20. It brings Chadian Nation into strike. She is on 1 nation. And that brings up the 100 for the Jamaican, does it? 134 deliveries, 11 fours, and it's now 101 as Nation picks up her second single. It brings McLean on 20 into strike. And plugging that one, digging that one out of the black hole? Huh?
Yes, yes.
And I don't care what they call it. I don't think they mind what they call it, what it does, how they go about doing it. Once they prevent it getting on the stump. And here is she swiping, swagging. Is it going to be 6? No. It dropped. It won't even get to 4. And going back with a square almost on the boundary and only picking up 1 run.
That's rather strange. That ball went way into the leg side area, and the player had to come around from deep mid-wicket to get it. McLean they probably thought he was going for 4, but the ball dropped and dropped dead.
And Saxena, and it's going to be a wide. 108 for 4 now, inching closer to the 121 target. Only 13 runs to get, and Jamaicans won't mind how they get them once they get them.
That's true.
And running in, not being too comfortable. Aborts, and it's a dead ball signal by the umpire.
Seems as somebody was passing by the side screen.
Saxena again, and she pulls forward. Didn't stop it, so the batters go through for a single. That's the 3rd single for Nation. 109 for 4. 104 for 4?
Yeah, 104.
104 for 4, pardon me. Perhaps I had too much lunch, which I really enjoyed. So compliments to the chef. Chadian Nation, she's on 3. McLean, 21. 21 and 3. And here is McLean stepping back and banging that one out to the extra cover region. She gets one, they hurry through for a second.
Much better than on that occasion. The ball went out to Ama.
And that takes McLean to 23. It's the end of the 21st over. 106 for 4. 106 for 4. And
No,
that's going to bring Nation into strike. She's on 3. I don't think any one of these batters would fancy losing their wicket. And the coach, she is suggesting that somebody take a warm-up. It's Edwards again. That one is full. Is it going to carry? No one bounce at a full toss.
Well, the
Punching that one out to extra cover.
full toss have to be working. A full toss got rid of fair when it was, I think.
And there's an argument Al, that a full toss could be a good ball, a very good ball in limited overs.
It shows many times. Even today, I was just saying that Ferron got a full toss and knocked it into the hands of Willett after bowling of Martin.
I don't.
So we have a present day example.
Well, some may argue, is there anything such as a bad ball? Because I've seen the worst of what I consider the worst of balls
Knock you
picking up wickets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Nation coming forward again. Is Nation, she flicks it off the pad down to the fine leg region. She goes on to 4.
She was hustling for that first one, but it looked like she was looking for 2.
107 for 4 Jamaicans. Just 14 ones short of victory. They would want to keep these 2 wickets intact, but cricket is a lovely game. Anything can happen. Edwards again into McLean. She goes down to the third man, running hard for 1. Are they going to come back for 2? Yes, they do. And they get it comfortably in the end. They get them comfortably in the end. It's 109 for 4, and McLean goes on to 25. In our circle of the world, Al, we don't make too much fuss about a quarter century. But in some countries, they actually give you an applause because it's half of your half century and a quarter of your century. And here is McLean punching it down to the extra cover region. The long off running around to her left and feeling, but she doesn't stop the single. 110 it is for the loss of 4 wickets. McLean, she ambles on to 26. And this one is a full toss going again, and it lands safely. Edwards, perhaps using it as a deliberate ploy, I don't know, Al. And Nation picking up a single.
I don't think it's deliberate. Probably trying to get some extra purchase on the ball, and ball slipping from her fingers. Because it's almost on no ball, almost arriving at the batsman above the level of the waist. But able to negotiate well, it drops. So it's now 111 for 4 as we witness another change in bowling. Saxena will give way.
And coming on is Jennison Richards, is it?
Yes, Richards, yes.
And she'll be bowling from the commentator's end, pavilion end. And so far she's got a short third man. Look like I feel that point cover. There's a long on. Being asked to go wide. Mid wicket, very short, mid off as it were. Mid on. And here is Nation stepping back, punching it into the offside to welcome Richards to the game with a first single, taking it up to 111. For 4, Nation is on 6. It brings McLean, who is on 26, into face. Same field employed. And here's the spin bowler, and this one pulled, getting down and sweeping aerially. Lovely stroke, and eventually getting into the boundary, beating the fielder, that's Cheyenne, is it? Not a lot of pace on the ball, Al, but enough to make it to the boundary.
Yeah, it was some lost today and it dropped spin and completely the fielder down it looked like Martin. Just couldn't get onto it. It's 4 more. 4 more to McLean. McLean was a powerful lady.
and it stays struck. And she didn't put a lot of effort, it appeared to me, into that shot. But she's ready to face again from, and here she goes aerially again, this time to the mid-wicket region, only picking up a single on this occasion. She goes to 31, 116 for 4 Jamaica. And we're in the 23rd over.
Well, just a few more runs to go now. I think the bags are already packed.
And it's safe to say the fat lady is already on the podium. Yeah. She's not on her way, she's actually at the podium looking for the director to give the cue. At that one plays into the offside, the bowler runs around to her right and field. Does Richards. And she's again in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, jumps. And here is Nation perhaps willing to end it in this on the next over, but being sent back, no chance of a run there. McLean not taking any chances, want to come not out. And she lives to fight another day.
Why not? Till top of our averages. Runs added but not divided by.
Nation faces. She comes forward, plays it down, and she now calls for the single, and it's going to be an easy single as the extra cover had to run around to our mid-offish position to field. It brings up the end of the over, and Nation, she goes on to 7, 100 and after the 23rd over, 118 for 4 Al.
So yes, it might be very well last over. It's only 3 runs to get.
31 to McLean. And not in any hustle. 3 runs, 27 overs for Al. And the Leewards could walk away, hold their head high for a few reasons. They were able to pick up 4 wickets. They didn't score the least number of runs in this round of matches. Guyana scoring 20-something, 70-something against Leewards. And here is Edwards again. Stepping back is Chetty and punches it back up to the bowler. No run. 118 for 4 it is.
Well, they can say the Saxena showed some aggression. A batsman they can invest in, a batter. And Clark wasn't looking bad either. Those 2 I was impressed with. Yeah. Single down to mid-off. Brings McLean into strike. And probably will bring the game to an end.
119 for 4. Still 2 runs to get.
2 runs our boundary will do it. McLean still circumspect, watching the ball, even though it's new individual watched the ball to its on his merit.
Umpire signaling 1 ball left in the over.
1 ball left in the over.
2.
And
And here she goes, whacking Al, wanting to end it in this over. She picks up Wonders McLean. And coming off a thick edge as it were. Perhaps had she struck it properly.
She's going to 2 extremes because at the ball before that she was so circumspect, just knocking it down to the bowler and taking it easy. And then her eyes opened up, lit up, and went for all high heavens with that one.
Scores are leveled now. Are they going to remain leveled? Yes, they do at the end of the 24th over. Jamaica 120 for the loss of 4 wickets. McLean on 32, Nation on 8. And the umpires just looking, wondering, wanting to make sure that the game isn't at an end yet. Not seeing any signal from the scorers to come, so they are aware that there's still some runs to get. And it's going to be Jensen again, bowling from the pavilion end. She is going to bowl to McLean. And what kind of mood would she be in this one? Circumspect, aggressive, Al? We'll have to wait and see. She looks around.
I think you should take cover. Judging from your last ball. Here it goes.
And that's the end of the game. 121 for 4, or for 24.1 overs. And Jamaica taking maximum points in this game. 121 for 4. And the players congratulating the umpires, congratulating each other. And Leewards, they're able to take away some positives from the game. And they batted 28.4 overs for their 121. It took the Jamaicans 24.1 overs to get there. And perhaps maybe a little tighter, they could have squeezed them. That would have been another moral victory, where Jamaica they had score that runs in greater than 28.4 overs, but that was not to be. The Leewards, they come off now. The Jamaicans, they're going up as a sign of sportsmanship. Congratulating the winners, the Jamaicans, some 13 times champion Al, long before the Leeward Islands started really playing female cricket. And St. Kitts Nevis, not playing Leewards cricket for a long time. And Jazara Claxton, the West Indies on the 19 player, listed but not here today apparently. Not in the squad for the game, but she's listed as part of the team. And no doubt the Kittitians would be looking forward to seeing her at some point. And the Leeward Islanders, they are coming off. They're no doubt going to go through their cool down paces. Because the game has finished so early, maybe both teams, they might take a little knock up. It's now 16 minutes past 4. So quite past 2, sorry, 14, 16. 14, 16, Al. And perhaps they might want to take a little knock up, who knows? A few laps, a few exercises, or they might decide, man, let's go back, take a nice bath, and perhaps go and soak up some of the sunshine on the beach. But we, as the scores get their final stats together, we'll be able to bring you the stats. And who would be your woman of the match, Al?
It will have to be the bowler from Jamaica, White.
With the fifer?
Yes, with the fifer. She plugged back the Leewards and what promised to be a good score, but ended in a easy low target. Because at one point we were saying that they could probably reach 200, 200, a little bit over 200 the way Saxena and Clark were going. And then it fizzled out after White came back, and Watts had done some damage to finish them off. 1 took 5, 1 took 4.
And that's another positive again for the Leeward Islands. They were basically averaging 4 runs per over, give or take. And they didn't really get too aggressive as it were. Yes, they struck some 13, 14 fours or thereabout in their inning. But again, the Leeward Islands are a very young team in terms of competitiveness. And they still have a long way to go. There were just 3 teams, the Leeward Islands team selected from a 3-way competition between Nevis, St. Kitts, and Antigua. And no doubt the female championship will go in the Leeward Islands.
Let's bring to you the scorecard, and then we would wrap it up and get out of here. Go back to master control. We had Ferron. Ferron was caught off the bowling of Martin for 10. Was caught by Willett. 1 out was Sharika Shelton. Rashida Williams was leg before wickets to Edwards. Stephanie Taylor was bowled by Edwards for 22. Natasha McLean was not out, and so too was Shadeen Nation was not out. The bowlers, we had Clark, who bowled 4 overs. Very economical overs indeed. Martin bowled 3 and picked up a wicket. Kimberly Anthony bowled 4. Rosa Leibert bowled 5, 22. Edwards bowled 5 as well. Saxena bowled 2 and Jenison Richards bowled 2. Leewards going down. Jamaica winning by some 6 wickets this game, the first match. They will now take a rest. All the teams will take a rest and come back for their second match on Wednesday. Here at St. Paul's, Jamaica will remain here. They will play against Trinidad and Tobago. Guyana will play against Barbados at Connery. And the Windies will meet Leewards in Warner Park. That's the GC Insurance Women's Super 50 Cup. That's the matches coming up. Tomorrow is a rest day. You won't have any action. And so on Wednesday, May 10th, Jamaica versus Trinidad, Guyana versus Barbados, Windward Islands versus Leewards. Action at St. Paul's, Connery, and Warner Park, respectively. On behalf of the co-commentators, Troy Biff Mills, and senior commentator, Mr. McCall, we hand you back over to Master Control. See you on Wednesday.